Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good evening. Sava here from Football Heritage TV. Welcome to episode 40. 40 episodes, mad, of the Spurs Review. Joined tonight by some wonderful faces, some great channels. And it's nice to see that Perchy didn't wear one of his horrible T-shirts for tonight's show. He's just gone plain. Big up to you. Perchy, how you doing, mate? You well?
Yeah, really good, mate. Hope you're good as well.
Yeah, very well. Nice relaxing day today. Watching some really mind-numbing football, but we'll get into that a bit later. Kate from Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs, how are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. A drama-free weekend, so yeah, well, apart from the Tottenham game, of course, but yeah, all good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. There was a bit of drama in that game. Ben Kaufman, chief moderator, coffee specialist. How are you, sir?
Not been a brilliant weekend, to be fair. Not been a brilliant weekend, but we can have a nice chat, and that's all that really matters, really. We need to get back on the bicycle, and hopefully we have a good chat. And then a new week is ahead. A new week, new year in my family. So everyone, happy new year, Shana Tova, and hopefully we can go forward.
Absolutely. And then look at this. We've got a pair. We've got both of them. They're coming here to tag team on everyone else. It's the boys from South Yukois, Marlon and Has. How are we doing, guys? One of them's got a Tottenham chair. The other one's got a chair that talks. It is all very exciting.
Yeah.
All good.
Sunday review, man. We're surrounded by good people. Enough said.
Sexy sneakers in the house.
Yes, absolutely. If anyone wants trainers or trainer advice, this is the guy to go to. Listen, guys, it's strange, isn't it? It's really, really strange because normally Tottenham don't start seasons with 13 points from 15 and we don't go unbeaten for the first 5 games of the season and we don't look like we're going to beat everyone and have all the ball and really, really create loads of chances. Now we have done that. I just kind of feel it's a bit strange. Normally it's like we need to go in, we need to dig out people. At the moment, Marlon, let me come to you first. It's been a dream start to the season, hasn't it? Could you ask for better, putting the cup aside?
No, you can't. I think more the way the fan base is as well. I think that's probably the dream start. That we're all on the same page. We're all happy. We're all smiling. And I think that's been massive. But there's only one man to blame for that, and that's the appointment of Big Ange. He's done wonders, absolute wonders. And it's even out of character for him to be doing this well. So everything, we've got to be happy. We're all happy. It's going to be a happy show, hopefully.
Yeah. Listen, I can't imagine there's going to be anything too controversial throughout the show. I mean, let me come to you, Perchy. Look, Big Ange, 4 wins, 1 draw. We've scored 13 goals, I believe. I think we've conceded 5 goals, but no one's going to care about that. And we go into a North London derby next week against an Arsenal team that we'll talk about that later that don't look to be firing on all cylinders. Surely there shouldn't be a single Spurs fan unhappy right now.
No, I'd love to know who will be unhappy. I think, listen, we are playing some sensational stuff at the moment. Brilliant football, lovely to watch. It's all things are good at the moment, right? All things are good. We go into the North London derby with bags of confidence, right? Arsenal have a game in the middle of all of that, in the middle of the week. Listen, who knows what happens, right? Who knows? Listen, we don't have a great record there. That's apparent. But not right now. Be excited. As Kuva says, get on the train. Get on the Ange Postecoglou train because, listen, it ain't stopping for anybody. Listen, get excited. This is what I love at that moment with Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, Kate, listen, all the Spurs fans I'm seeing, everyone's very, very happy. Obviously, all the Arsenal fans, all the Chelsea fans, all the Liverpool fans, they're all coming in. It's like, oh, it won't last. When you lose your next 2 to Arsenal and Liverpool, you're back in the mud. This mud. Apparently, there's a lot of mud in football these days. I didn't know that this much mud existed. surely that's not the thinking right now. Surely the thinking is, hey, we're a good team, isn't it? That's what we're at.
It is for me. It's not for everyone, as I've seen today on a couple of streams. There's still, I've actually heard the words "I hate Ange" today, which took me back. So nothing surprises me in YouTube land. But for me, I'm enjoying the moment. I don't understand why people are waiting for it to go wrong. We've had so much rubbish over the last 4 years. Let's just live in the moment. Everything's good. We're playing great. I'm joining Perchy on the Ange train and chewing all the way.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. I mean, Ben, do you get that feeling? Do you get this kind of feeling that people are actively sitting there and waiting for it to go wrong because of our kind of history, because of what we're used to? Or do you sense a difference? Do you sense that everyone is now kind of going, hang on, this is Ange's Spurs. We're a good team. We shouldn't fear anyone, Man City aside. Do you get that feeling?
It's the history of Tottenham, isn't it? That we start well, we get ahead of ourselves, and then we don't just fall slightly, we absolutely fall off the cliff. So I'm going to be the one to appeal for calm again. Yes, we beat Sheffield United. It's amazing team spirit. It was an amazing win yesterday. We didn't play well. We need to face it. We did not play well yesterday. We looked very lacking of ideas. We didn't know how to beat a Sheffield United team until we put Perchy on in the last 15 minutes of the game and started putting balls in the box. So we need to learn to play against the low block, because not every team is going to play front foot football that's allowing us to get behind them and play with our... Yeah. We've got to be calm. We've got to be calm. I know the manager has told us in full Cuva 99 fashion. I actually think Cuva is the manager at this stage.
He told everyone, didn't he? Go out there, just overreact. We're winning the league. Go and enjoy it.
We're excited. We're winning the league. The double was on, but we do need to appeal for calm. Next week, we're playing one of the big boys. We need to... They don't look great at the moment, but the moment we turn up at what they call the carpet, Arsenal go from being about 30% to being like prime Arsenal. So we need to be calm. Let's see what we can do next week. Game at a time. I like us, the team spirit, and hopefully we improve on it, because we weren't good yesterday, but we got the win. So that's a sign of a good team.
Well, Has, let me come to you. I've come to you last because obviously you and I did the watch along yesterday. We watched a lot of football and ate a lot of food between us. A lot of food was consumed in that 2 hours. But to Ben's point, did we play badly? Well,
not badly. We didn't play well.
No. Okay. Did we not play well, or was it just a case that we didn't know how to finish our dinner? Was it a case of did we look a bit lackadaisical after the international break? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I thought, first of all, we ate a lot of food, by the way.
Loads.
Whole packet of pinion blanket crisps. It was stress eating more than anything. I'll just put it out there. But no, I think we was off the pace, to be honest, Sava. Yesterday, we just didn't seem like, the Tottenham of old, so to speak, like the last 4 games, where we was just pressing constantly, pinning teams into their own half. It seemed like, we had that half a yard off yesterday. Having said that, we still had like 27, 28 shots or something ridiculous yesterday. So we still had the same sort of output. We just couldn't finish our dinner, like you said. It just weren't happening for us. Most of the shots were going straight down the throat with the goalkeeper. And what we noticed yesterday was Maddison. He was really frustrated yesterday. You can see it from the get-go. He was stomping around. He was really frustrated. He weren't, he was being put out of his rhythm yesterday, so to speak. So, look, irrelevant now, obviously. We've got the result and stuff. But having said that, after international break and also getting a player of the month and manager of the month, to have come out with a win after all that, I think is a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the same Spurs we'd seen. Even in the second half, I thought that when we upped the tempo a bit, we still looked a little bit, I want to say, a bit devoid. This is not to anyone, by the way. Let's just have a general talk. So if we go round one by one, we're just going to, everyone sits there for an hour not talking. I felt we were a little bit devoid of ideas. I thought that throughout the game, Kulu and Solomon were getting a bit predictable, both of them. And we really struggled, to Ben's point, I really agree with you, Ben. I think we really struggled with this whole kind of low block, so to speak, or what we used to just call good defending. You know, that low block on the edge of their area. We're going to come up against a lot of teams like that, aren't we, panel? Like, we're going to come up against a lot of teams like that where we're going to have to figure out how do you get Son involved in that game, because not everyone's going to do what Burnley did and just allow him 10, 15 yards to run into. So how do we do that? Obviously, it's a work in progress. How do we do that?
I think we have to find other ways of scoring, right? Listen, I'm loving what we're doing at the moment with Postecoglou, but it's a valid point what Ben makes about we can't, when teams have got low blocks. Bear in mind, Tottenham have suffered for this for years. I remember under Pochettino, we were struggling to break teams down, and it was lovely to watch, but we couldn't do anything with the ball, right? So we've got to find an answer. And someone put it up there. Maybe Brennan Johnson's the answer. Because I thought when he came on the pitch, he looked much sharper. He was running at players, which is what I didn't see on that right-hand side most of the game. He was running at their left back, making their left back make a decision. And if it wasn't for maybe his nose being offside, he scores a very, very well-timed goal and things of that. I thought he came on the pitch and looked really, really sharp. So maybe he could be one of the answers there. I don't know. But listen, I think that's one of the only question marks at the moment. We've got to figure out how to break teams with low blocks down.
Is anyone worried about it? I know, first and foremost, we've had 5 games under the new manager. So there's time. We've got to learn. We've got to grow. But is anyone else worried that maybe we don't have the personnel to necessarily break those low blocks? I mean, don't get me wrong. Yesterday's great. You know, winning 2 goals in the last 4 minutes of 102 minutes is great. But you can't rely on that every game. Is anyone worried, or is this just a progression that we need to go through?
I think you've got to bear in mind, also Sheffield United were slowing the game down every opportunity from the first half. Sure. I think that more than anything just slowed our rhythm down from the first half, which is why they were getting frustrated. They were chasing the game. The goalkeeper's antics, you know, the players going down constantly. Obviously, without the 12 minutes or whatever it was added on, maybe we might not have got the 2 goals. So, are we going to get lucky next time someone deploys the same tactics?
Well, let's be honest. We've got to play. Yes, we've got to play Arsenal and Liverpool. They're not going to do it, right? They're not going to. No. We know that. I think collectively we know they're not going to do it. But Luton Town after that will do exactly that. We go to Luton Town. We go to their place. They are going to sit back and make our lives hell for 90 minutes, or 100 minutes is probably more realistic nowadays. Yeah. So we have to learn very quickly, because it's all well and good playing lovely football. We love the football, but we're in the business of winning games of football, right? It's all well and good playing lovely football, but then finishing 0-0 and going, we should be beating the likes of Luton, Sheffield United, these teams. So I do agree. We have to find a way, but we've got to find a way quickly.
I think, you know what? The one thing that I did find from yesterday was I thought Ange should have made the changes earlier. I think that's where the problem lied with everything, right? Because, like you said, Solomon and Kulu weren't getting the rub of the green and everything like that, and we could see it wasn't working in essence. But as soon as he made those changes, that game, to be honest, was made for Richarlison to come on. Those are the certain games you kind of go at everything that Richarlison's about. The way Sheffield United were playing, that was exactly where we needed a player like him. Like when we play Arsenal and Liverpool, probably not. He's not going to be that sort of player that we need. But just yesterday, you could blatantly see that him going up top and causing them issues just meant that they could then they had to think about things, and especially when Perchy came on, and even like, let's be honest, the 4 out of 5 subs that came on yesterday, let's be honest, half of us wanted them out in the summer, right? Yeah. And if they'd gone, none of us would have cared. But actually, yesterday they came in and did exactly the job that we needed them to do. So hopefully going forward, Ange now sees this, and actually when we do play teams like Sheffield United and Luton, we have got those certain players that can come on. You can't do it when we're open. Can come on and do a job like that again, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Marlon, quick question just on that, the big point on the substitutions, because initially I would have agreed with you if it wasn't. I kind of flip-flopped a little bit on this matter,
Yeah.
And the reason why I did, because I listened to this morning at a show with Soren and Kuva. And Soren this morning, big up to Soren. He made a really, really good. No. I wouldn't say flip flop. I wouldn't actually use the term flip flop. I was actually convinced by Soren. He made a really, really good point. He said, because initially I thought subs were too late, should have got 60 minutes in, make changes. But he then made a good point. He went, Postecoglou would have known that there's going to be a lot of added time here. He must have known in his head, there's going to be a lot of added time here. I'm going to delay the substitutions to the 75th minute instead of the 65th minute, knowing we could be playing deep into 100 minutes of football. Where now, if we bring them on a little bit later, they're playing for 25 minutes because you've got to add the 10 minutes on. And maybe that was his process. Listen, we don't know. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, no.
It's a valid point in that.
It is a valid point, but I still think he should have made it earlier. It may have stopped their first goal from going, and we may have
potentially.
We just don't know. It's one of them. Agree. Do you know what? I actually believe it's
if buts and maybes, isn't it?
But who knows? Because if he does know that there's going to be an extra 10, 12 minutes added on, right, then fair play to him. And that's when he thought he should bring on the subs. But I just think he could have made it a lot more comfortable viewing for us and maybe himself if he had done it earlier, because Solomon was losing the ball a lot in the end. I thought Kulu just looked a bit lost on the right-hand side he played okay, but he just looked a bit lost after. And Maddison, considering what we saw the first 4 games, I thought he had a very poor game yesterday. Right, but he was getting frustrated as the game was going on, and it just needed changing. But it's one of them. You just don't know. If he knew, then obviously fantastic. But just watching it, I just thought he could have made it earlier. And who cares if Richarlison and them not come on 10 minutes earlier? Because maybe we could have gone 2 or 3 and broken down a little bit earlier. But we don't know. It's a very good point. But I'm not sure.
Sheffield United did this, and Seba, we spoke about it on text as well. Sheffield United did the same thing to Manchester City, where City must have had about 100,000 shots. They should have won the game about 1, and ended up finishing 2-1.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So same thing. City happened to City as well, and same thing happened to us. So I think
a lot of the disappointment came from, because obviously all the streams beforehand, everyone was going 4-5, 5-0, this, that, and the other. And I was probably the only one who said, I thought it was going to be 1-0. Because Sheffield United are very hard to break down. And we should have all seen that performance coming. But everyone was just expecting what happened against Burnley, and it wasn't going to be that easy. But what was the positive thing about the situation was that last goal just summed up where the team is, and the fact they fought, pressured, and everything like that. And that's why we're happy as Spurs fans, because seeing something like that, we weren't seeing last season. We weren't seeing under Mourinho. We probably weren't even seeing that completely under Poch towards the end. But to see it again, and the way they just calmly got that second goal, it weren't long ball or nothing. It was just brilliant to see.
Would you? So I'll just add a little bit on. But the bit I would say is, if yesterday was Man City, Sheffield United, Man City at home, we'd all be going, that's what big teams do. That is what top teams do. They find a way to win at whatever cost. And when people sit and say, "Oh, I was only Sheffield United," I'm not suggesting that we're going to win the league. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying. But my point being is,
Perchy.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Too soon. It's only September. Wait. But
Perchy in league title shocker. Here he is. Go on, Perchy.
Clip it up. Here we go. No, but I'm being serious. No, if that was Man City, we'd all on Match of the Day be going, this is why Pep Guardiola is a master of getting teams to just win games of football no matter what. So
Perchy, don't you think though? I think the difference is with that, right, is Man City do it year after year after year, game after game after game. You know, and obviously,
2 words, Sava, the 2 words.
Yeah, consistency and context, right?
Of course, no,
the 2 C's, the 2 C's, like my maths exams. The problem, no, they weren't C's. I got A's. No way did I get A's. I've completely lost my track. I think that's the difference, right? I think we can say, if City had done it. But the difference is when City do it, when the old Chelsea used to do it, or the old Arsenal and Man United for all those years, those teams were doing it while winning trophies, right? Those teams were doing it and doing it all season. I think we've only had to do it one game. Let's be brutally honest. This is the first game which we've won where, I don't know about you guys, where I felt like we weren't going to get anything from for a long period of time. I think against Brentford, I thought we were very good second half. I thought against Man United, we didn't ever look like we were losing that game. Bournemouth felt comfortable. Who was after Bournemouth? Burnley, 5-2. I think yesterday was the first time when it was like, and we said it has. We said when that goal went in, it was like, all right, we didn't panic. I don't think anyone on our stream was panicking. A few people in the chat going, oh my God, Spursy, and this is what we do. But it was like, cool, all right, you've got 15 minutes now. Let's see, is it different? Is this a different Spurs? Do we crumble under pressure? And they didn't. They kept going. They got the result, and I think that bodes really, really well. But I want to slightly put the conversation about Arsenal, right? Purely because we're playing them. Our next game is Arsenal, and it's the big one, and everyone's looking forward to it. Both clubs literally have an identical record going into this game. Played 5, won 4, drawn 1. Arsenal, as far as I'm concerned, I think they've let in slightly less goals than us, I think. But I think we've scored more. If I'm right, somebody will tell me if I'm completely wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. Now, here's some of the comments we're getting from Arsenal fans, right? I've seen a few of them, so I thought I'd bring them up. And we'll react afterwards. Please, not after each one. So some of the comments we've had has been not just Arsenal fans, we've got West Ham fans as well. West Ham fans starting to live the large life after they've won a European trophy. So we've got Golden Hammer has said, nobody rates Spurs outside of Spurs. Struggled to win against Sheffield United at home. Even West Ham will finish above Spurs. So leave that one. Angus, big up Angus. Hope you're well, my man. I said, can you explain to me why you lot are so confident ahead of next week? Like I don't know where it's coming from. Jolien has said, you're getting destroyed. Like, I love this. There's no foreplay here. This is just straight in, right? There is no foreplay. You're getting destroyed. Easy work. I have placed a €580 bet on it. I stand to make £1,000. I want to thank you for always giving us 6 points. Big up to you all. You played good football. To which he's then come back and said, this is the problem with Spurs fans. Happy with tippy-tappy football, which leads to nothing. Once things change, you might win a trophy. Hit the likes, people. I like that. I like that bit. And then Sava.
Arsenal were last year.
Hang on, Ben. Hang on. You're shooting your load a bit too soon there, my friend. 1 second. Last one. I said, Sava, if Spurs win or draw, I'll donate to the British Heart Foundation. Set it up. You decide the amount. Something reasonable, up to £500. Now, we'll come back to the British Heart Foundation bit in a minute. But guys, girls, why is no one taking us seriously? Are we overreacting? Are other teams underestimating? Or as normal, does it probably lie somewhere in the middle of those two opinions? Go.
Listen, I think fans underestimate us at the moment because we're virtually unknown. I think a lot of people don't really know what Postecoglou does outside of Spurs, and realistically, unless people sat and watched Celtic a lot last season, they really don't know what they're getting. And listen, I think they are. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say we're already going to win. We don't win at the Emirates. We've had manager after manager, and we can't go and get a victory over there. So I'm not going to sit there and say all of a sudden that we're just going to win because we're playing nice football. But we're in really good form. I think we could be a little bit of a surprise to them. We're not going to be the Tottenham of last season. Arsenal fans are thinking that it's Tottenham of last season, that they'll just fall at the hurdle and completely capitulate. One thing I don't want to see, even win, lose or draw, we've got to go there and at least put everything on the pitch, really, not hiding away like I've seen before.
Yeah,
I agree. I think they do underestimate us. In a way, I can understand it because, the Spursy tag didn't come from nowhere. But Ange does give me that Harry Redknapp vibe. And Harry Redknapp was the last manager to win at the Emirates. So I'm not saying we'll win, but I know for one thing, they won't thrash us and we will give them a good game. And I think because of we haven't got much depth, but because we bought somebody like Brennan Johnson, we've got going to probably have Richie on the bench, assuming he doesn't start. I think Ange is going to take people by surprise because they're never going to quite know what to expect. And I think that's the slight advantage we've got at the moment. So, but they're always going to give it, these fans. I'll just let them get on with it. I like being under the radar. Let us just carry on what we're doing quietly and they can all chirp away as much as they like.
Has Marlon, the Southview boys, are we being underestimated? Are we over egging ourselves? Is next Sunday's game, right? Forget it. Listen, obviously a massive game. One of the biggest 2 games of the season for me. I don't care. The North London derbies are the big ones. Win it, it's going to be beautiful. Lose it, and these Arsenal fans, they're going to be coming back with, as people say, they're going to be coming back with receipts. Right? They're going to be coming back and throwing it in our face. So Marlon, where are you at with all of this? We're going to stuff you. No, you're rubbish. You're playing bad. You're playing bad. Oh, I don't know.
Look, I've said this for a while. Next week's game is going to be massive. And do you know what? Even if we lose, as long as we don't get battered, I think what a lot of us Spurs fans are seeing at the moment is a step in the right direction. And I think that's what a lot of the other fans are getting confused with. We're not confident. We're just more confident in the way that we're playing. And that's what we're excited to see. When we come up against Arsenal next week, I've always said they are going to be the first team to expose this Ange way of playing if they can, right? But that's if they can. And even if we got a draw next week, I tell you now, I'm going to start saying we're going to win the league because going to the Emirates and getting a result,
wow.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That is where because I'm not expecting us to win next week, right? What's 2 wins in the Premier League at their place? I'm being realistic. I'm not expecting to win, but if we do go there and get some sort of result, I'm on the Ange train already. But but this Liverpool game and Arsenal game, I could be going, we're winning the league, mate, and that's where I'm going. But I don't want to get there first.
Marlon is shooting his load early.
I'm shooting it because I said this. But I'm not.
Marlon saying we're winning the league.
I never said we're winning leagues. Don't put the words in my mouth. I never said.
Because things don't fall for us.
I did not say that.
Yes,
things don't fall for us.
My rule is game after game.
Yeah. No, I'm off. If we get a result at the Emirates next week, right? And it's a big if, right? Then I'm literally looking at it. This don't happen to Spurs, so something special's got to be coming. Because
so Marlon, let me ask you though. You do realise that even after next week's game, there's 32 more, right? It's not like we're not coming into the last 10 games of the season. You know, there's 32 to go.
Yeah, I know, but I just see. I'll see that. Look, I look after that. We've got Luton, Fulham, and Crystal Palace, right, as the next 3 games, right? So I'm looking at if we get the confidence of going in after Liverpool and Arsenal. If we actually get a result out of both of them, these boys are going to be on top of the world. And and they're going to be like, you know what? Who the hell's going to come and try and beat us, right? And then the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, hopefully we can try and get a result against them. Wolves next, Villa next. We could be going into December high as a kite, but these next 2 games are so important.
Say what you want to say. We could be going into December. I thought you were going to say something like 5 points clear or like.
Mate, us and Man City on December the 2nd, right? If we're still in this vein of form, is going to be such a great game to watch.
Unfortunately, I've got to beat Eeyore and shut it down. We've been top of the league in December with 2 of the greatest managers of all time, statistically and winning trophies, and we've fallen off the cliff. So, like we've said before, 1 game at a time.
But he knows how to win.
He knows how to win. He knows how to win in Scotland. This is the Premier League.
No, I'm not having that. It doesn't matter where you know how to win. You know how to win in general. Listen, the way we're playing.
Let's take it game at a time.
I agree.
We've had 2 of the most successful managers of all time be at top of the league, and we've fallen so far off the cliff that we ended up on the other side of the planet. So let's be happy with the vein of form. We might.
Is that an Australian joke? Because I like it.
It might be. We lost. We might lose to Arsenal. We might lose to Liverpool. These are 2 more complete teams than us that have had.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm worried about Liverpool. I'm worried about Liverpool.
So can I ask Ben?
No, not Marlon.
Hang on, Ben. Let me ask you. This for me, Ben. I don't know what you think. This for me is This is football to a T, right? This is football fans to a T. We have got two very. Listen, let's be fair. Other than Man City, would anyone on the panel disagree with me if I said, other than Man City, the two best teams in the league are Liverpool and Arsenal, right? Yeah. I think if we're going to taking Spurs out of it, we'll have that discussion in a minute. Win the two games, Ben. Honestly, like it will be, we are title challengers. We are going to be Arsenal fans from last season, aren't we? We're going to be Arsenal fans, right?
Hypothetically, we beat Arsenal and Liverpool. We should be even calmer. We should be like, all right, we've done something brilliant.
Don't be silly. There's going to be no calm if we take 6 points from those two games.
That's the problem with Tottenham. As soon as we beat a couple of big teams, we think we're prime Real Madrid. With Figo and Zidane, and
it does have Spurs written all over us to go to the Arsenal, beat them, beat Liverpool at home, and then beat Luton Town.
Luton's first win will be us.
That is Tottenham to a T, isn't it?
I mean, listen, Ben, I'm with you. Listen, no. I don't care if I'm I don't care if I'm called negative or whatever. I don't think Spurs will be any. I don't think we'll be anywhere near a title challenge at all. I think that. Listen, first of all, I think Man City are going to run away with this thing for fun. Yeah. I don't even think Man City need to play well in any game, and they're still that much better than everybody else. I've heard all summer how they've let players go and they're weaker, and I hear this every summer, and then Pep Guardiola just wins them games. Man City never win the first 5 games of the season. That's the worry for everyone else. Normally, by now, they've normally lost. Normally to us, but normally they've lost a game in the first 4.
On that one, the 2 times that they haven't won the title, they've won the first 5 games because it was the.
Here we go.
You're going with superstitions now, are you? Is that what you're doing, Marlon?
And the Liverpool season, they've won the first 5 games, and this is what I said this the other day to Ashmatic and Has. I'm really worried that they've started so well. Because when they usually start well, they never tend to win the league. It's usually, like you said, they tend to have lost by now or play crap.
Marlon,
and that's my only worry.
Be honest, do you see, just going off on a tangent a little bit, and the rest of the panel, does anyone see any way, shape or form that Man City don't win this league title? From what you've seen so far from everyone.
They're going to win it by 30 points this year.
I think they'll win it by 15. I think they'll win it by 15.
Yeah, I was going to say about 18 points or something. I think they're going to be.
No, do you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, for me, it depends on how. I think Liverpool will be their closest challengers this year.
I agree.
And I think it all depends on how Liverpool do over the next few weeks.
I think
if Manchester City will win it or not.
It depends if Mo Salah is sold for 200 million in January.
And that's a very fair point. But I think if they're anywhere near this title race, he's not going in January.
This is the problem, Marlon. If someone comes in January for a 31-year-old with not a lot of time left on his contract and says,
they'll come back for him next summer.
Why would
they will come back? They will come back for next summer if depending on what they want to do. So for me, look. I think City. I think it's between City and Liverpool. Arsenal, they've not been as they were last year, and that's the only thing. But they're winning games. Like today, they don't usually go to Everton and win, but they did. But I see it as Liverpool.
What if Arsenal that starts slowly and wins the league? We
could be, and that's a worry for me too, Ben.
I wouldn't even say that.
That's the biggest worry for me is that they start slow this year.
I think the key point here, really, I think if we sort of diverted back to Tottenham for just a second, I think this league's going to be very. And when I say competitive, I think Man City will walk this league this season. I genuinely think they'll walk it. I'll be honest. We talk about Spurs in a title race. I'm being serious now. I don't think we are, but my point being but I'm being serious in the sense of I think between sort of 2nd and 6th, I think it's going to be relatively close. Yeah. I think Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, I'd even throw in the mix of like a Brighton will be in that conversation. All these teams, Man United and Chelsea will get their act together at some point. They're going to get their act together. So that mix between that sort of 2nd to sort of 7th or 8th.
Will a club like Man United get their act together? Hang on, we'll come to Man United in a second. I just want to put this out there. So Man City's next 4 league games for me will sum up the league. Man City's next 4 league games is Nottingham Forest at home. Yeah. Sorry, there's shocks, but I can't see it. Sorry, they then play Wolves away, who Liverpool didn't even turn up for the first half and won 3-1. Then their next 2 games are Arsenal away and Brighton at the Etihad. I think if they come out of those 4 games unscathed,
with 12 points,
I think even 10 points. Yeah, even 10 points, even 8 points. If they even 8 points, I just can't see anybody touching them for the title. I can't. The difference is, and look, by the way, I have not said, before everyone in the chat goes mad, I have not said I don't think Spurs will be anywhere near a title race. I'm not putting a Marlon. Yeah, Perchy's already said we're winning a league. Perchy and Marlon.
I haven't said it. Don't say I haven't said it.
But I think the difference is.
Don't you point, Kate, as well? You're also on the league train.
I've not said nothing about the league at all.
I think Luton's fixtures are quite favourable as well, though.
Hang on. I didn't even get my point out. I was like mid point, and everyone started rowing. I think the difference will be is where it is only 5 games gone. So far, Ange has had the luxury of picking his best 11 every game.
Yeah.
Right. Ange has had the luxury of doing that. I think that, and there's a difference to seeing Richie and Perchy come on, for example, and Højbjerg come on for the 15 minutes in games, to starting with them. I think starting with them changes the dynamic and the shape of the team massively. Like everyone, like you can't imagine, guys, you probably can, how many comments I've had in 24 hours about you're in the mud about Richarlison. And Richarlison's great and eat your own words. And I'm like, guys, he scored a corner from a header. They scored a header from a corner. Like, yeah, cool. Well done. Love it. Cheered it. We were on stream. We cheered it together. But now all of a sudden I'm getting people going, he's got to start next week above Sonny. And you're like, it's mad. So at the moment, I don't think we've got that depth. Man City can, I don't know if anyone saw their team yesterday, they put out away at West Ham was frightening. The firepower that they put out in that team, and then the players they still had on the bench. So that for me is the massive difference between a Man City, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool. I just think their depth is frightening.
Listen, and on the Man City front, we're there for the moment. And the problem is you've got to look at it. Do people think this and being serious, take your Tottenham hat off. I always say, take your Tottenham hat for this comp one right now. You're going to have to go and win anywhere between 25 and 30 games to beat this Man City team. Like this, whether we like it or not, Man City have set the bar like this. Whereas before, you could win the league on 22 wins in a season. No. You have to go and win 30 games for you to win the league now. Like that's what Man City have. They've set the benchmark up here. You need to be. Can anyone see Tottenham getting 90 points this season? Ask yourselves that. No. Genuinely, can you see Tottenham getting 90 points this season?
I'm known as Eeyore, so no wonder I don't.
No, but being serious for this, like when we talk about a title run, expect Tottenham to get 90 points. That's the only realistic way you're winning the title, if you get 90 plus points. Because if you look at history tells us that you need to get 90 plus points to win the league. Right?
Why are you putting a balloon in it for, man? Why are you doing that to me?
I'm just trying to be like, I'm just trying
it again.
Look, okay, to Perchy's point, to Perchy's point, let's have a look at this. So this was the league table, how it ended last year, okay? So this essentially is what you're looking at to win a title. You're looking at nigh on 90 points, 28 wins, 5 draws, and only 5 defeats. Now, obviously, that's moving. I'm not saying it's that every year, but I can't see Man City dropping 10 games. They've already won 5 in a row. I don't see 10 teams good enough to beat Liverpool, if I'm honest. I don't see 10 teams good enough to beat Arsenal. And at the moment, I don't see 10 teams good enough to beat Tottenham. But are we capable of, I'm asking you guys, I don't believe it, but are we capable of doing what Arsenal and Man City did last year? Just the 5 or 6 defeats in a season?
I don't think it's going to be as clear cut as you think. I think City will win the league, but I don't think it will be a 15, 18 pointer. I think you're not giving the other teams enough credit, in my opinion. I think Liverpool
like who, Kate?
Like Liverpool for one, Arsenal for two, and Tottenham for three. I think Tottenham are going to be up there. I don't think we're going to win the league. I don't think we'll probably come second or third, but I think we'll be fourth or fifth if we can keep our squad fit. But I can see Man City winning it, but I do think it will be tighter than that. I don't think more than maybe 6 points. I think Liverpool. Okay. Yeah, I think Liverpool. I don't think Chelsea and Man United are going to get their selves together. To me, they both look shambolic.
Can I ask you a question, Kate? Though, I don't know about you. And they did win both these games, so I might be chatting absolute rubbish. But in the games I've watched them play, like against Newcastle, against Wolves, even against Villa, I thought they were got at so easily at the back that I just sat there and thought, there isn't a chance you're anywhere near City. I don't know. Maybe if they win enough points because everyone's so poor. But do you think they're good enough defensively to be up there anywhere near City?
Yeah, I do. And I think they're strengthened as well in January because that's just what they do. But I think Arsenal haven't even got out third gear yet. And I think got to give them a bit of credit. I mean, I watched them today and they played Everton off the park, which to be fair isn't difficult because they're just dreadful. Yeah, exactly. But I think... I don't know. I've just got a feeling that there's a lot more to come from them. And I think to say that it will be a sort of 15, 18 point gap is taking too much, not giving Man City too much credit because they're amazing. But I think it's discrediting the teams below them, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, last year, I'll be honest, I said 15 as well. And then Man City... I thought they almost had half a season off. I felt like they were just floating along. I mean, you haven't said anything for a while. Where are you at with all of this? Because I get it, right? Everyone's getting massively carried away. We're now not even just shoehorning ourselves in for top four. We're shoehorning ourselves in for, you know what? We're going to be near Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal. I don't know. I just think it's all going a bit too quick. It feels like, when you start dating somebody and you've said I love you within like the first 3 dates, and you're like, oh my God, this is all gone very quick. That's what it feels like, Has. What do you make of it?
Sorry, but I just think I think we've started really well, but I think we're sort of overreacting a little bit.
Oh, Has, go away.
Oh no, the South Korea Civil War. Who's Captain America and who's Iron Man?
Show if I don't disagree with Marlon. I've got to disagree with Marlon.
Yeah, man, go for it.
But no, I think for me, we all said before the season, Ange gets a free pass this year. Okay, whether we're crap, we're good, whatever. I just can't see us sustaining this level of football with the squad that we've got at the moment. Let's be honest, a few weeks ago, everyone was saying we haven't strengthened enough, we haven't got enough covering,
I agree.
We've got this or that. So what's changed now? Because at the moment, a few more yellow cards, we're going to have players missing. A few weeks more into the league, we might have players who are going to be out through injury. What we're going to do then? Because outside of this 11 that we've got now, who are starting every week, yes, okay, we've got the cover's adequate, should I say, but not like for like, if you know what I mean.
To put it in perspective, like Eric Dyer was our backup centre back for Saturday's game, right? I think like I has. Sorry, I'll come back to you in 1 second. I think has that what we're all forgetting is whilst things are going good. Teams do this, and I'm not knocking it. While it's going good, let's just keep it going good. All of a sudden, a couple of defeats, though, an injury to one centre half, and suddenly you've not won for 2 or 3 games. You've got Eric Dyer at centre half again, and all of a sudden, James Maddison's injured. All of a sudden, everyone who's talking about 85 points, champions, being close to Man City, and that all of a sudden that looks very far away. So I feel we're on a real tipping point, Has.
Yeah, no, I agree. But also, we're in a transitional season as well. We've got a new manager, new players.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, I sent a picture of some of the youngsters in our team in the group chat earlier on today. We've got fresh new faces. I just think it's a season where we have to learn a bit more about the Ange way. Okay, it's working so far, but he himself come out and said this isn't the finished article yet. There's going to be bumps along the road. For me, I think it's important that we face these sorts of clubs like Arsenal's, Liverpool's, City's, because it tells us where we're at, what we need to do, and how we move forward from whatever the result may be. If we grab a good result, okay, we might be a bit ahead of schedule. If we don't grab the result that we want, then we sort of need to work on the deficiencies we might have at the club, okay, in terms of the squad and stuff. So I think I just want to see where we're at the moment. I'm not getting carried away. I'm not going to talk about. Look, put it this way: if we are top 2 come Christmas, okay, I'll say, look, we've got a great chance of finishing in the top 4, getting to the Champions League, happy days. And then we'll take it each game as it comes. At the moment, let's not forget, we're 5 games in to the season, 5 games. Okay? We were jumping up and down, yeah, when Nuno won his first 3 games. And that lot down the road lost their first 3 games. We was jumping up and down. We was like, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We all know how that turned out. I just don't want to get carried away. I just don't want to get carried. Sorry, Marlon, man.
No, I get it. I get it, Has. I mean, Marlon, look, it's...
Mate, this is the happiest I'm going to be all season. That's why. And I know, as from next week, I know full well I'll be back down to earth and this, that, and the other. Right?
Well, Marlon,
I'm just going to enjoy it while it lasts for this next week, because at the end of the day, I said yesterday, it's really weird because if we lost yesterday and then we lose the next 2 games, right? He's actually a point better off than Nuno. That is how things could have changed in such good in a sequence. But so I'm
Marlon,
aware.
let me ask you then. Like I've got nothing against it. Everyone get carried away. You know, whatever. Do your thing. Not you. Everyone get carried away. Just remember though, if we do lose to Arsenal and Liverpool, just remember that everyone got carried away, right? You know, I'm the sort of person. I don't start believing anything until like the turn of the year, because I've seen Tottenham in December be top. I've seen Tottenham turning into. I say me. You've all seen it. We've seen it. Harry Redknapp had us 2 or 3 points off the top, turning into January and asked for Tevez and Gary Cahill and Saha and Nelson. We've seen Pochettino at the turn of a year be in a title race, if you want to call it that, and then nothing was backed to help that. We've seen Jose Mourinho be top in December, and then all of a sudden it took one bad defeat against was it a draw or defeat against West Ham when we were 3-0 up, and then we crumbled. So I try not to get carried away or too negative, because I just think it is 5 games of football, and I'll be honest, I don't think my worry is. I'll start with you, Marlon, and then go to Perchy on this. My worry is that I just don't think we've played anyone yet that's got a decent centre forward. I don't think we've played anyone yet with really good attackers like we're about to face in the next 2 games. Pace, not just pace, but like we're going to be facing Mo Salah.
Arsenal have a decent centre forward unless Jesus is back fit, because Nketiah is not it.
No, but that's not my point. My point isn't just about a centre forward. When you look at Arsenal's attack, when it's on fire, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, right? You look at Liverpool, Gakpo, Nunez, Salah, Diaz, Jota. That's the test for me, which is why I will just keep my feet on the ground for the next 2 games. And I've said if we get 2 points from those 6, I'll be well happy. I'll be brutally honest with you.
Yeah, great.
But that's the reason why I said, right, this is why, and I said earlier, Arsenal are going to be our biggest test because of Martinelli and because of Saka. I completely said that. And that's why I said I'd get so carried away if we get through the next 2 games, and going by your point of the attack that they've both got, if we came out of that with 6 points, why in the world am I not going to get carried away? Because if we come out of that unscathed, I'm going to be like, this ain't Tottenham. I'm not. This is not my Tottenham that I've been supporting for the last 40 odd years. It's kind of, this is weird and odd, right? So that's why I probably will get carried away. Yeah, you're right. After Christmas, I'll probably get it all come crashing down like it normally does. But I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm not saying that, by the way, Marlon.
No,
I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it will. I want to know, Marlon. Basically, I want to know if we are in that top 4 and we are within 7-8 points of all the teams around us, whatever. I want to know, and this is where I think we can all agree. That's where normally you turn to your owners and go on then.
We know what's going to happen.
Go on then. What we doing?
We know what's going to
Right?
happen.
That's the crux of it for me. It's not about 5 games into a season. It's not about half a season. If we're going to go by this factor, Arsenal should have won the league easily last year. If we're going to go by really, really good starts, and that's where I think a lot changes. And their season unfolded last year in 3 games. They were excellent all season, and then a 3-game period where they win one of those 3 games, and Man City went, see you later. Gone.
It's fine margins. It's fine margins at the end of the day. 1 or 2 games, and that could be it. When you've got someone like City there, the league for me is not an even footing. So, if you've got 3 or 4 teams that are sort of level in sort of the way they play, strength, etc., it could be a different outcome. But when you've got one team that's constantly up there, you got to bring your A game. You got to be perfect in almost every single game in the season. It's just almost impossible. And also, I just wanted to say, top Spurs. I wasn't comparing Ange to Nuno in any way, shape, or form. My guy, totally different. I was just comparing the fact that we had a good, solid start under Nuno, where we won 3 games, 1-0. And everyone was getting excited. Obviously, 100%.
Has, can I apologise? Apparently, my microphone's doing that thing again where I say something and something else comes out the other end. First of all, I'm a catastrophized downfall. I'm not sure where I've predicted that. I'm not sure where I've said that. And then off the back of that, all of us are in trouble here. Where is it? All of us. I want to find out who said it. Somebody said. Seriously, guys, who would want to go into battle with most of you? The lack of belief is shocking. This is what I mean. This is what I mean, people, right?
Hold on.
Hang on. As Spurs fans, this is what I mean. Because I'm not sitting here going, yep, we're winning a league title.
Yeah.
Right? This is what you get. I think Spurs could finish 4th. I said that. Look, anyone who's worked with me enough, you'll know I've said I think Spurs will get top 4. Injuries pending. That's the big one for me. Injuries pending and what we do in January. But when you're talking about a title, you can't call people negative because they don't think Tottenham Hotspur are going to win the title. It's madness.
They're not seen Tottenham Hotspur over the last 5 years.
And the rest.
Can I just say, if you go to any pundit or any media personality that is in football and stuff, they will say this, probably the same thing that we are saying right now. So, I don't know who the person was that said it. I can't remember his name.
I just want to go back. Sorry, Hans, I don't mean to, but go back. Everyone here is backing this team, but we're not all going into crazy land, right? Like, listen, we can all sit back and go, except Marlon, fine, except Marlon. Marlon's going into crazy land.
There's that guy.
But Marlon, in serious, you get the point that's being made. I know what you said, but the point being made here is we're all backing what we're doing.
Yeah.
This is the part. But all of a sudden, after 5 games, we're hearing title run.
And I bet most of these teams, but I bet most of these people saying that, Perchy, were the same ones when I, from day one, said, I'll take Big Ange. I really like him. Going, Celtic, Scotland, Australia, Japan. Now, after 5 games, you're negative because you don't think we're winning a title. Now, to back this up, guys, I want to show you something. Right? If we are negative, right? If we are negative because we don't think, well, other than Marlon, because we don't think Spurs are winning a league title, right? Here are the odds with the bookies, right? Oh, good God, what's going on there? Here are, hang on, I want to keep in the loop.
Want to be kept in the loop,
Stop trying to sell me stuff. I'm live. God damn it, I'm live. Right, here we go. So hopefully you can see that. So there's Tottenham with the bookies, right? Not one of the bookies has us lower than 20, right? Not one of the bookies. Look at everyone else. I think if I'm right, and let me go to my other screen. If I'm right, you can get Arsenal as low as 11-2, right? You can get Arsenal at 5.5-1 is the lowest odds for Arsenal. Liverpool, the lowest odds you can get are 6, as far as I can see there. You can get Arsenal at 6-1, and then you can get Man City. No point. They're just odds on.
Yeah.
So what do these fans in the chat know that every single bookmaker out there doesn't? What do they know that every bookmaker doesn't?
If you think Tottenham Hotspur are going to win the league title this year, I think you should visit your nearest physician.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Do you know what makes me laugh? I say this all the time. It's the extremities of football fans. The same fans are saying that we're going to be in a title race and we're going to win the league. Well, the same fans saying we're going to get relegated because we sold Harry Kane.
Right,
it's like,
right.
You can't.
5 games ago, we're in a relegation battle.
5 games ago.
This is when we've got to quote Cuba 99. Every meal is a banquet and every hunger is a famine, Perchy.
But my point is most of it is down the middle. We all need to get it's all about balance. Listen, excited with what we're doing. I love what we're doing. Listen, no, I know you are, but my point is let's wait at least till 19 games. At least then when we've had the litmus test that we've played every team once, right? We've played every team once. We can go, do you know what? Now we can judge it, right? We've played every single team once. Now let's see where we are. We've played 5 games. And Savi, you made a great point earlier. The 5 teams we played haven't had a number 9. Brentford's number 9 is suspended. Bournemouth haven't really got a number 9. Man United haven't got a number 9.
Technically, Sheffield United had a number 9.
Yeah, he got sent off. Yeah.
For me, it's not just a number 9, Perchy. It's not just a number 9.
Darren, goal scorers, though, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, the teams you played haven't got goal scorers that you go, do you know what? They're the ones you count on, right? They're the players you count on to get you your goals. And I think
bookies are negative.
Bookies are negative. Yeah. But what I'm trying to get at here, the litmus test is the next 2 games. I've said this all the time. The litmus test is the next 2 games. Let's see how we get through that. As I've always said, and I say this every single week, take every game as it comes. Let's not get carried away. Just take it as it comes. If we go to the Emirates, go crazy. Tell every single Arsenal mate that Spurs are better than Arsenal. Go bad about it. Stay calm, though, for me. Personally, just stay calm. Listen, if we're going to win the league, we're going to win the league. Right? So we don't need to start talking about it now. Let's talk about it when we get to April and May.
I'm sorry, I'm not taking Dominic Solanke as quality. I'm not having it. I'm not having it
That's
at
clutching.
all. I watched him today and he is awful. I watched it. He couldn't trap a bag of cement. He was awful. I just need to get some super chats before we get back to Marlon telling us all how we're winning the league and how the bookies are dreadful at their jobs. First of all, Jazz Jones has become a channel member. Big up to you, Jazz Jones.
Big up, Jazz.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully
there will be.
Well, by the way, he's had a bit of poor health recently, so hopefully he's doing all right.
Well, we hope you're back to fighting fitness, Jazz Jones, and there will be a channel member only show this week, probably on Thursday. So big up to you and welcome to the family. Morton Barley has said Ange learned a lot yesterday. All power to his elbow. We'll talk about that in a minute. Big up to you, Gary. Thank you so much. Daniel Montandon in the chat as normal saying enjoying the show. Big up everyone and big up Tottenham. Good team they are. Yeah, we're a good team. We're winning the league, Daniel. Go and put some of this money you spend on Super Chats. Put it on Spurs to win the title, my friend. Big up to you, Daniel. Thank you so much. A user has said we deserve to be happy and why not? Agreed. I would take each game as it comes and not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see where we are come February, March time. We're going to come to that in a minute. And that's going to be my first question to Marlon. Big up to you, A user. Orox Beats, massive support of the channel. So big up, Savra and everyone. I'm glad Kulu scored. It could have been a lucky strike, but I'm assuming Kulu is training his right foot more, hopefully. We'll talk about Kulu in a minute. Big up to you, Orox Beats. Hennessy has said, all I know is, come on, you Spurs. Big up. That's all any of us have ever known. Big up to you. And Paul Brown has said, we're winning the league. We're, yes, another deluded Spurs supporter. Sava, panel chat, like, share, sub. Big up to you. Listen, it's been an hour and 3 minutes. We haven't asked for a single like or a single sub so far. 154 likes, 462 of you in here, and only one subscriber so far tonight. So come on, people, smash that button and be generous and subscribe to everyone on my panel. Ben has put the links in the chat, or whether it was Mark or someone put the links in the chat. Guys and girls, I think that's the key thing. That comment in there about February, March. Yeah. Normally, that's when Man City have woken up, February and March. And this is why I see this every year. Last year, Arsenal fans were going doolally. They were 8, 9, 10 points in front of City. We're going to win the league. City aren't as good. I feel like we need to learn that lesson, especially after 5 games. Like, I honestly, I get it. I love the excitement, but I can't be one of these fans that just thinks, like, I know, Ben, when you say about Couvers every feast and famine and all, I've been here too many times. I don't know. I feel like I've learned. I don't know. Does that make me negative? What do you guys think?
No, it's
Yes.
You tell him, Kate.
Yeah, sorry. My bad, Kate. My bad.
Go on, Has. Sorry.
No, look, I think we just based what a goal by Real Madrid. By the way, 1-1 with Real Sociedad. Yeah, I just think we're basing everything on facts, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not about being negative. It's just same way with Bookies, right? The Bookies base everything off facts, stats and facts, and the stats and facts suggest that City are the best team in the league, followed by a couple of others. But there's nothing wrong with, look, I'll say this, right? There's nothing wrong with people believing, people, totally going on the Ange train and believing that we're going to win the league and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I and maybe a few others choose to be a bit more, look at things.
Spurs about it.
But we've been here so many times before. Like, everyone's believed that we're going to do this, but I just think we just need to give it time. I think time is the key. And at the moment, it's just too early. It's even too early to call who's going to win the league. I always find it strange, right? When you're watching, not necessarily YouTube shows, but also when you're watching TV and stuff, and they're like, predictions for the season, who's going to win the league? And it's just like, ball hasn't been kicked yet. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's get 10 games deep and then see maybe, who's firing and who's not. You know what I mean? I just always find it a bit funny when people predict so early on in the season, like 1 or 2 games.
I agree.
That would be interesting, though. That would be quite interesting to see how many teams have been top in September and gone on to win the league. Because will Man City be one of the first to do that if it happens this season? Because I don't think there'll be many.
No, of course. The thing is, I always say, and let me come to you, Ben, on this. I always say, like, where you are after 5 games, it's such an early, after 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games, I think the table really starts to pan itself out between the 10 and 14, 10 and 13 game mark, where I think after that time, we'll see Sheffield United, Luton, Everton. I think all of these teams will be right down the bottom. You're going to see Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, City. If Man U or Chelsea sort themselves out, I think Newcastle, Villa, and Brighton will also have got enough points to be up there in that top 6 or 7. But I do feel that we've got to listen. I don't want to, Ben. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that turns around and everyone goes, "Oh my God, Sava's not enjoying it." I love it. I love watching the games. Has did the watch along with me. Saw how excited I was about the football, but. Yeah. It does make a bit of a mockery when we start telling other fan bases that we're going to win titles after 5 games when we've got a history of not winning anything ever.
Absolute failure.
Let's be honest, we was taking a mick out of Arsenal fans last season for doing the very same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Agreed, Has.
We was all laughing at them. So why are we doing it now, 5 games into the season?
I know it's above my pay grade, but let's look at Tottenham after 15 games. Let's see how we are doing after 15 games and reassess the situation. If we're looking good, if we're still playing good football, if we've not hit any injuries yet, then we can get a tiny bit excited. When we get to January, that's when we can strengthen. Because remember, we're one injury away from Eric Dyer playing centre back.
Right.
Imagine Eric Dyer playing centre back again. We've seen how good we are when we don't have Eric Dyer. What 2 more injuries? We've got Eric Dyer in defence and Højbjerg in midfield. That is 20% of the team that was in the team that we all slated for being awful. Calm it down. 15 games. Let's see how we're doing. We're not winning the league. Sorry, Marlon. I love you, mate. We're not winning the league. Let's see how we're doing. Let's take it a bit at a time. If we get to the end of January and we're in a good position, we should all be chuffed. We should all be chuffed.
Agreed.
And let's see if we can continue that form until the next season. And then that's when we build.
This is where I agree with Alex, Mr. Box Office. He's got it. No, listen, I do agree with him on this. Look, he has said all along, and I do agree with this. The test for Spurs will be when we have a bad run of results.
Yeah.
Like, this will be the test of Spurs. When you don't win for 2 or 3 games, right? When Maddison, like for me, take Maddison out of this team, I think we're a shell. So I know people are going to disagree with me. I think you take Maddison out of this team, he is the heartbeat. People can tell me about, people can talk about Basuma, top player. Van de Ven, Romero, Udogie. Maddison is the one at every opportunity that is creating, coming and finding the ball. He is the heartbeat. Now imagine you lose him for 10 games, 8 games, 7 games. Right, plus, Perchy, I'll come to you. Plus, we've got 7 games in December. 7 games in the month of December. That then we're going to see what does this very, very thin layer of quality, what can it do when it's playing every 3 days in December?
3 games a week.
Yeah.
Then we're going to see.
No, you're actually right on this, but this is exactly what I've been saying. Do you know, Spurs are in a very similar situation which Arsenal have been in for the last couple of years. And I said this all along. I say it's on my channel. I say it's all everywhere. When Arsenal lose a game, it's how do they respond? And they're very known to, when they're winning, under Arteta, when they're winning, they're great. They go and win on runs. They go on good runs of form. Then they lose a game, and then it's the boat's a bit rocky. They go and draw their next game. They lose the game after that. Then they're fighting to get another 3 points. And this is the same thing. I said this, I had this Alex on my show the other day, and he's absolutely right. I said to him, I said, you are right in what you say. We don't know how this team is going to be when the boat is a bit rocky. Are we going to bounce back? Are we going to be able to go firing again after losing a big game of football? It could even be not a big game of football. We could lose to a Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Just hope. First name that came out of my mouth when I thought of, how do we respond? We haven't seen that yet. And it is a good point.
Before the chat goes, Perchy supports Crystal Palace confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, Perchy, just to round off with you on that point, it's crazy. Today's title talk, in my watch-along, if this game had finished 4 minutes earlier, it was doom and gloom. It was, oh my God, we've lost at home to Sheffield United. Nothing's changed. Yet right now, this for me is why when football fans go from that to that in the space of 4 minutes, 4 minutes we're talking about, right? Which is why I always say, listen, I don't know what, like when people say I'm not enjoying it, I don't know what they want me to do. Like, am I meant to come on stream and go, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't wait for the next game. I want to get through. I said from the beginning of the season, I want to get through Arsenal and Liverpool. I want to get through those 2 games. They're the test. Let's get through it. Teams like Brighton, we're just discounting Brighton as though they're not a top football team as well, right? Teams like Villa. Villa are a good team, right? Villa are a good team. Brighton are a good team. Liverpool.
Would you put West Ham in that conversation as well? Just going back, because the way they destroyed Brighton at thing, I'm just looking at it going, would you like, and yesterday against City, they wasn't that bad. Yet City turned up in the end, but West Ham played really well up until a certain point in that game. So would you put West Ham in that conversation?
No, I personally wouldn't on that. But my point here is, think of the worst case scenario in the next couple of games. Just everyone think about it right now. In the space of 2 weeks, we could be 7 points behind Man City. In the worst case scenario, they're the team to beat. So when we talk about title runs,
8.
We're 1 point behind them, aren't we? No, no, we're 2. Sorry, apologies. You're right. Yeah, 8 points. We could be 8 points
That's
behind
when
Man
you've got
City.
Squiggy with Sava.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Perchy.
Facts
You gotta
don't lie.
remember, when they come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, that's 3 points for us. So technically, it's 5.
Yeah, but no,
I'm joking.
I know what you're saying.
Marlon's put his money on an invincible season for Tottenham Hotspur. He's gone with the Invincibles.
I'm joking.
But but the thing is though, you can't lose 2 games of football. And I'm just putting in the hypotheticals because it's not unrealistic for Spurs to go to the Emirates and lose, and then Liverpool beat us at home. That's not unrealistic. My point being is we'd have been 7 games in with 2 losses. It's not, whether we like that or not, that's not title form at the moment. Because at the moment, Man City have set the precedent that you need to get 90 points. You have to get 90 points. And whether we like that or not, that's not title form. So
Perchy,
let's wait and get there, right?
This is what I said. I want to bring in Has here. This is what I said. 3 games in football seems like nothing at all. It could be in the space of 8 days. It changes everything. This is what I said. Arsenal last year, they had that points gap. I never thought they'd do it, by the way. I think everyone that I said all the way along to the Arsenal fans, City are catching you, right? But 3 bad games in a row for Arsenal, gone. Right, the title race gone. Perchy's right. Suddenly, I'm not saying we will. By the way, I'm just hypotheticals for people clip this and go, Sava said we're going to lose to Arsenal, lose to Liverpool. City beat Forest and Wolves. All of a sudden, you're 8 points behind. And then I think everyone goes, hang on. Yeah, we're not catching up 3 wins on Man City across the rest of the season. That's the fine margins, isn't it, Has, of what 1 week of football can do before people start talking about title races.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And hence my reason for being so pragmatic about, the season is that we're 5 games in. We're 5 games in. And there's so many fine... Look, our squad at the moment, apart from the 11, is paper thin. There's no 2 ways about it. It's paper thin. Anyone who is expecting us to be in the race until the end of the season, I just can't see it. I appreciate, people want to support the team. People don't want to be negative and stuff. It's not about being negative. People are confusing being realistic and negative.
Right.
Yeah, negative is when you're sort of knocking the team down, saying we're crap at every moment, or totally dismissing our chances of winning anything. All we're saying is, look, it's 5 games. We shouldn't be talking about title challenges. We should be taking each game as it comes. And also, might I add, we should be enjoying what we're watching at the moment, right? Win, lose, or draw, we're playing football that we've wanted to see for the past 3-4 years. All right, it's entertaining us. We're on the edge of our seats every week. I mean, look at us yesterday during the stream with Sava. During the live watch along, and every single emotion you can imagine. You know what I mean? It was like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
but. I just think that it just needs to be a bit, temper it down a little bit. And also the other reason why other teams are dismissing us, like Arsenal and West Ham and everyone, I honestly think it's because they've had a great season last year. West Ham because they won the European Cup. Arsenal because they finished above us and they've finally, found their feet again. It causes these teams to be really confident against us, So I actually prefer us being the underdogs and people dismissing us. I like flying under the radar. We all know it happened when Poch was in charge. Everyone was dismissing us, and we were happy to just go under the radar and just get on with our business. So I'm happy with that. I'm really, really happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I want to quickly get to a couple of super chats, and then I'm going to ask a question. I want to talk about Richarlison. I think we've got to, right? First of all, Phil Coys. Phil, you're not a member. It's taking you this long, brother. Hey. Unbelievable. Part of the Phil Army. Big up, Phil Barnett. Hope you are well, my man. And thank you so much for finally taking that plunge. It only took a year and a half. There you are. The newest member
took me
of our
being
family.
positive. As I said, league title, he went, I'm becoming a member.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
By the way, if I keep bringing on Marlon to tell everyone we're going to win the league, could we possibly get a single subscriber across like an hour and 17 minutes? It says madness. Big up to you, Phil. Jim, just a guy who loves Spurs, who's madly in love with one of our panelists. As said, Sava, it's been a great start. There will be some bumps, but let's all trust over the next few windows. Ange will make. Listen, Jim, I completely do trust. I just don't trust winning a league title. But by the way, I was one of the fans in the summer that was saying, I'm not worried that Kane is going. I think we will get goals from all round. That is what Postecoglou does. I just think any talk of a title race in year one is utter madness because Man City are phenomenal. Now, talking about Man City,
just in month two.
In month two, just quickly. Right, and by the way, if we had lost yesterday, would anyone be talking about a title today? Everyone would be busting out the old Spursy word. So let's have it real. Jimmy has said Man City winning the league is not a fact. No, I think you've misunderstood what he said there. I mean, it's not a fact, but I mean, I'm going to ask the panel right now. On a serious note, Ben, who's winning the league title?
Manchester City.
Kate?
Man City.
Perchy?
Man City.
Marlon?
What's wrong with you people?
Say it, go on.
Liverpool.
Go on, Marlon.
Say it.
I'm going to say Liverpool.
You going for Liverpool?
I'm going for
Flip
Liverpool.
flop.
Yeah.
Flip flop.
Wow, you going? So hang on. So just now Spurs were winning the league. Now Liverpool are finishing above. So are Spurs finishing above Man City in second?
No, Spurs are going to finish second. That's still winning the league, you know.
Right, okay, so Marlon live on stream has just said Man City are finishing third.
Third, yeah.
But wow, okay.
Wow.
Has who's winning the league?
Clip it.
I think since you have more Arsenal supporters in the chat than any other team, it's got to be Arsenal then, isn't it?
It must be Arsenal.
Is that the right
must be
answer?
Arsenal.
Yeah.
God knows. By the way, this one gets me. The whole Man City that we always beat them at home thing. I think we always beat them at home when we stick 10 men behind the ball and play counter-attacking.
Yep.
I think it's going to be very different when we try and play them at football. People strap in. Listen, guys and girls, I only want to go for another 15 minutes or so. But Richarlison, difficult week for him internationally. Not playing really well for Spurs. He's come out and said that he needs to go and get some support. So some people were surprised to see him on the bench. He comes on, scores a header. And now all I'm seeing from so many people is Richarlison's great. This is why he's Brazil's number 9. He's got to start in front of Sonny. Are we, like with the title talk, are we literally going to do this with anything that happens this season, guys and girls, where we're literally going to do a player scores a goal. There you go. Everyone wrote him off. He's amazing. He's brilliant. We're winning titles. Or is it just that he came on and scored a header and we can say, good work coming off the bench and doing your job? I don't want to be a downer on it, but everyone's talking to me as though he came on and dropped like kind of Erling Haaland type striker performances when he scored a header. Discuss.
Yeah, I think I'm so pleased that he scored because I've just slated him since we signed him. I don't like him. I didn't like him at Everton. But there's no mud on me because scoring a header doesn't make him a world beater. And I still don't think he's anywhere near good enough. But I wanted to see him do it because he looked like the weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders. But let's be fair. I know he got an assist and he scored a header. And his aerial ability is really what we was lacking because Sonny's useless in the air. But he didn't do anything else, really. So he's nice to have off the bench. But for me, I'd still sell him in January, given half a chance. But for himself, I'm glad that he scored.
Yeah, anybody else? I mean, I feel like Perchy. I'll come to you, Perchy. Listen, I'm glad. I'm happy for him. He's had a tough month. I've always said separate the football from the kind of mental health side of things. There's no Spurs player that I don't want to do well when they step onto that over that white line. But some of the comments, Perchy, just honestly, you would have thought that the guys come on, scored a hat trick, dribbled it around the whole team. Like I feel like we're doing that thing again where every time a player scores, everyone else is in the mud for doubting their ability.
Listen, I came onto your show yesterday and it was the Richarlison redemption is what I called it. Listen, I'm not one of these. That was more for my title. You want to get views for it, of course. But on a serious level, though, what I would say though, what I really would say about Richarlison, listen, I'm not one of these. He's not going to be a world beater. He never will be for me. And he needs to do a lot more to be a world beater. Does he start over Son? No, still not. Son's going to be better down the middle against Arsenal. But what you've got, the one thing this is about, it's not about great and terrible. For me, it's down the middle again. It's back in the middle bit. For me, if he can keep doing that, coming off the bench, getting involved, making a nuisance, getting a goal, assisting here and there, amazing, right? Listen, that's what we want. Listen, we all here want Richarlison to do well because if Richarlison does well, it benefits Tottenham, right?
Sure.
So in that capacity, yes. Listen, I'm not sitting there saying he's going to go and break all the records in the world. He's going to be amazing. No, he's not. But is he of use? Potentially. But the key word again, Sava, the C word, consistency. No. Consistency is the one this time. It's consistency. Now, come off the bench against Arsenal and do the same thing. Liverpool at home, Luton Town, get goals, earn your place back into the first team, right? Earn your place into the team. If he starts doing that and he starts getting 3, 4, 5 goals in the next 5 or 6 games, you sit back and go, okay, this guy's shown a reason why.
Yeah, I mean, anyone else on the Richarlison piece? Backing on from Perchy's point, I think that's it. We've seen players do this before. We've seen Soldado come on and grab a goal, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's lifted. He's now going to score loads of goals." We saw Vincent Janssen do it. We saw Vinicius. Remember, Vinicius came into.
I'm really happy you gave me the right player, Soldado. Soldado was very much a system player, playing with 2 up top.
Yeah,
Richarlison is good when you've got wingers that can hit a ball on a sixpence and you can head the ball. Richarlison is awful when you give him more than 5 seconds to think. Richarlison is good in really quick spaces. Think, bang. That's when he's good. So what you need is a Perchy and a Brennan Johnson who are going to whip balls in the box and put it at his head height, and hopefully he heads it in the back of the net. He's going to miss some of them. But if you give him an Ivan Perisic whipping balls into the box, it's happened 2 times this season, once against Fulham and once against Sheffield United. Sling balls in the box at him. If you play Richarlison, you've got to play a Perisic. You can't play a Sonny.
You can't play Sonny or Solomon. You've got to
you've got to play 2 players, 2 strengths.
Players that suit his way of thinking, which is hit the ball at him and hopefully he taps it in or he gets a header. So it's that thinking. But this is when you have systems. This is why you have a squad. If we're going to be playing Richarlison, put Perisic on the left and Brennan Johnson on the right. It's what you've got to do. You've got to build the teams that work.
So is it fair to say then that he's going to be a very capable substitute in games where we are struggling to score and we have to throw balls in the box? But okay, let me come over to you then, Marlon.
But what everyone's forgetting, he did get an assist yesterday. Like he did calmly play that ball to Kulusevski. Like in other situations, we know what. Like there was a period early in the match where he tried to control it. Yeah, where he tried to control it, and the first thing I thought of when he did it was Sam was going to be moaning at him for that, and he couldn't keep it under control. But once he got his goal, and then he made that run, he made a run that was effective, which he hasn't been doing for most of the season. So that assist he got, that he calmly placed it in. In certain games like Sheffield United, he will play well for us. But like I agree with Perchy, and I said it earlier, Arsenal and Liverpool, he's going to do maybe Liverpool if we're not getting anything, but it's going to be games where we're not getting anything up top and we do need to swing balls into the box. So, but that's where Richarlison's going to come in handy.
But Marlon, this is the key bit, and I agree with you. The one thing I will say, and I'll give massive props to him, this is it. And I will be positive for a second, and I mean it for this now. He came on and he stepped up when we needed somebody to win a game of football. Whether we have an opinion of him, he was the player. Whether we say it was just a header, we'd have all moaned if he'd headed it over the bar and we didn't win the game of football, right?
For sure, so he deserves praise for that.
The praise comes for the player to say, when we needed someone to dig us out of a hole, he turned up. But as I said, my point earlier, he has to do it week in, week out now. It's all well and good. We'll forget about Sheffield United in a few weeks' time because we'll be on to the next one and on to the next one. We can't have it. Bear in mind, last season he scored 1 league goal. I'm not suggesting he's going to get one league goal this season, but he can't have another season like he did last season. That's all we've got to be at, right?
Yeah, I mean, let me Has, sorry, I want to ask you a question about this, Has. Sorry, just quickly. I think the thing is, yeah, it's all good that he can come on and score headers, and there's nothing wrong with that. My problem is that straight away, what it's done is people start talking about he's got to play against Arsenal through the middle. He offers something different to Son. And for me, I don't know, people might disagree with me. For me, there is no way I want this guy involved in link-up play. Because in the games we've seen, when he started, and we're not throwing balls into the box, his link-up play is what lets him down as a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, look, he come on against Sheffield United yesterday and he did what he was supposed to do. And that was to try and grab a goal for us. There's no way I can put it, no other way I can put it. He come on within the context of how the game was going. We were chasing a goal. Now, if you look at him in the previous games where he started, not very good.
Has this guy forgotten that Soldado scored 30 goals in a league season?
Yeah, sorry, go on. It has finished, and then we'll talk about that afterwards. Yeah, go on.
No, it's all right. I was just saying, look, for him, making a case for him to start, after the first 4 games, and just because he scored a goal yesterday, I think he's a non-starter. It's not. It shouldn't even be a conversation. I still don't rate him as someone who can come and link up play. Join up with the attack and make things happen. But certainly yesterday he showed that maybe as an impact player he can come on. He can nick a goal here and there. I just think he has to do a lot more to earn his place in that team. So for me, I just, after one, substitute appearance, getting a goal and an assist, which is fantastic, I just think it's a bit too soon to say, yeah, he needs to be starting every game now. I think
I agree. I mean, Kate, let me come to you. I think this is the problem for me. Listen, I think it's really good that he came on. I think it's great for, first of all, let's be brutally honest, for him, for his mental health, for his whatever he had on his shoulders. We've all been there in life. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Sometimes, I think you guys will probably know something's happened this week to me where I've made a decision in my life and I've all said it to all of you. It feels like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, right? Because I've done something. Richie scored that goal, weight lifted on his shoulders, brilliant. As Spurs fans, Kate, I would like to think that we all go, keep doing it, keep scoring goals. But what makes me laugh is that it's those people that go the complete opposite way. It's the, told you, he's amazing, he's brilliant. When they want to use one game versus his entirety at Tottenham Hotspur. And that for me is where Perchy was correct. Consistency. You've got to, he can't score a header against Sheffield United and then we don't see anything for the next 6-7 games. He's got to follow that up with all-round good play, not just a header, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think he should be starting anyway. I think he should be on the bench. But everybody wants to see him do well. I mean, I've got a confession to make, actually. My cold black heart might be melting because this is what Big Ange has done to me, right? I watched the game yesterday and the celebrations and Dyer come running on the pitch and I went to Jim, wouldn't it be lovely if he got a game and played out of his skin and the redemption for Dyer came back? And
I'm disowning Kate, everyone.
Jim looked at me and he was like...
worst take of the day. Sorry, go on.
Jim looked at me and was like, have you gone mad? And I was like... I every time someone puts on a Spurs shirt, I'm desperate for them to do well. And even if they've been crap for 5 years, if they can turn it round, hang on, Ben, if they can turn it round for me, I take my hat off and give massive respect. Xhaka did it at Arsenal, do you know what I mean? And if Dyer came on that pitch, gave it his all and started a run of playing fantastically well, I would be over the moon for him. Are you clapping as a mocking? Are you mocking me, Marlon? Or
no, because you said no. I'm with you. Big Ange strain. That's it. I'm on it. I don't know.
Hang on. Did you mention Eric Dyer though?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not Eric Dyer. No, not Eric Dyer. I'm not having it with Eric Dyer.
I just want everybody to be the best person they can be in whatever they do. And if that means that Dyer happened to get a chance and he played out of his box, and that led to him having a season where he was brilliant. I just think it would be the best fairy tale story ever. And it'd make me love Big Ange even more. And I love him so much already. I already want to squidge him. So I think Ange has just done something to me. I don't know what it is, but I've been Anged.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. And I think a lot of the Spurs fans at the moment, like we've gone early with Big Ange. Don't get me wrong. And I think he's going to turn a lot of us over the course of this season, and if he's still here next year, if Levy doesn't fuck it up, I think he'll turn most of us. And I think, Savva, there'll become a point where you'll be going, I'm with you.
No, but hang on, no, whoa. No, hang on. Let's.
You won't be realistic anymore, Savva.
No. Let's get this straight, because what happens is people make these outrageous claims after a few games and one goal and stuff, and then everyone then turns their attention to why I'm negative. Listen, I've seen this with so many players that we've done this. I've seen this with
realistic.
Not you, but the people in the chat.
Realistic,
right?
Realistic. I said realistic.
Right.
Stop being realistic.
Hence why I've just lost 5 subscribers in the last 5 minutes. Like, do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, because I'm not sitting here blowing smoke up everyone's backside. Right? Listen, what sort of a human and a football fan would I be if before the game I'm saying, and I have done since he joined, the fact that I never wanted him to join, that I'm sitting here going, I don't rate Richarlison. I don't rate his footballing ability. I don't think his link-up play is good. His passing's poor. His temperament's poor. Right? What sort of a person would I then be if he comes on and flicks a header in from 3 yards and I go, you know what? Something's different. No, do you know? I can't then look at myself and go, I can't take my own opinion seriously if I change it because he scored a header. This is why I say the same thing about every player that plays with Tottenham, right? Plays for anyone. Consistency is everything. We've seen this before when Carlos Vinicius came on for Spurs and scored a goal. I believe we won a game 1-0 or 2-0 against Aston Villa away. I've got Villa in my head. Vinicius scored. People went, he just needed that chance. That'll do. I hear this so many times. This will do him the world of good. And it's like, yeah, sure. Doesn't make them a good player overnight. Like I can't flip-flop like that. It's not in my nature to rate a player 1 minute and then after one game start going, oh no, they're rubbish or they're good. Same with Decky. I'll move it to Decky, right? The conversation I've had is all last 24 hours. Decky's proved you wrong. On what? I thought like Marlon said at the beginning of the game, I thought we had a very ordinary game of football where I was massively underwhelmed and then he got a goal. Cool. You got a goal. You did your job. Great. I'm not knocking that. But then people going, oh, he's class. He's going to show you. And you're like, it's all on emotion. It's all on emotion rather than anything evidential. Sorry, that ran over. I just can't.
In the words of Phil P, I have cataracts. And I love Dejan Kulusevski, but he was poor yesterday. But when he needed to turn up, he put a footlight attraction engine through that ball. It won us the football game. You've got to give it to him. When he was there, he worked his socks off, but he was poor. He worked hard. He won the ball back a couple of times, but apart from getting footlight attraction engine, big up Alan Partridge, and that was it. He turned up when we needed him to. Hopefully he can start using his confidence and start putting some performances together. That's what we want to see. Performances, putting them together.
Sure.
And hopefully we can see the Dejan Kulusevski of when he joined under Antonio.
Agreed.
That's what we want to see. But he looked very much yesterday like a one-trick pony. When we put Brennan Johnson, still mad at Brennan Johnson because he stopped me getting an Eeyore onesie. When he went to that right-hand side of the pitch, he was frightening. When he was frightening down that right-hand side. He was committing plays. He was stretching defence, which gave space to a Kulusevski, to a Richarlison. It's what you need to do. You need to be able to go down both sides. And that's what we need to see. But I'm happy he got the goal.
For sure. We're not allowed to be happy it has. I'll come to you. You're never allowed to be happy in the moment. Every goal, it then means that somebody's opinion of a footballer was either right or wrong. I honestly, 2023, I've never known anything like it. Player doesn't score, they're crap. Player scores, you're in the mud. It's like, oh my God. Like, Like, why can't we just take it for what it is? Player scored a goal. Right? Dan Juma scored last week for Everton. I'm not going to suddenly start going, oh, this boy is class. This boy is class. It's just mad. I don't know what's happened to the world.
To be fair, Savvy, you mentioned someone earlier as well, Vinicius. He scored yesterday. He ain't going to be class next week. We all know it.
Right. The Fulham fans that I've been seeing online are like, what is this guy? How did we sign him? If any of them after yesterday are going, do you know what? I think give him a chance. He'll get you 15 goals. Like, oh my God, just Kulu, yes, more, because Kulu, you could see that he's a footballer. Like, Kulu's a good footballer. Richie, I'm sorry, I'm just not having it. And if he starts above Sonny next week, not having it.
He can't do. It'd be madness too.
Yeah, there's no way that will happen. But I still can't wrap my head around the Dyer thing. Sorry, Kate. I want to. I don't like. I like him as a person.
I don't.
Stuff.
I don't.
Who's that?
No, I've got nothing against him on a personal level, but as a football player, having played under about 10 different managers, I don't think even Ange can get a tune out of him. I'm sorry. And there's a reason why.
He's magic.
No, he couldn't. He's a crap player. He's a crap player. We've got to stop doing this. We've got to not do this. We've got to not do this.
And the only reason he's still there is because he's refused.
Any player that has a meeting with the boss of the football club rather than talking to their manager is a disgrace. He should be nowhere near this football club. He's done it with Conte. He did it with Mourinho.
He's not the only one who done it, though.
It's not just him.
It's not just him
in particular.
Yeah, but this is why I was fuming at the documentary, because everyone was sitting there having a go at Danny Rose for doing exactly the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But you have to look at the chairman of the football club and go, why is he being allowed these players to go into his office and then he's undermining the manager? Yep. And that's one thing that you forget Eric Dyer done it. The fact that any of the players can go and do it, and then the fact that then he gets put back in the squad and everything like that. You've just got to look and go, that is the way this club is being run, and that's poor.
Run like a social club.
But okay, I get all that sort of thing, but nothing actually has happened that's massively groundbreaking, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing that we didn't think was going to happen, right?
I agree.
If you did that at Manchester City and you went to the director...
But we're not Manchester City, Ben.
If you did that at Manchester City or a Barcelona or a Real Madrid or a Manchester United, you would be so far out the door.
Yeah, but we're not those football clubs. We've got so many problems in our... The way that we operate hasn't changed. It's all wrong at the football club. I'm not disagreeing on that side of things, but what am I seeing?
How was he man of the match yesterday?
He was man of the match because he scored in the...
Because he scored in...
That's literally the only reason how it works. Yeah. I'll put that part on, but I'm just going back to this point. But my point being is this nonsense which I keep hearing from people about, Lloris and Dyer are named in the register. Like this, man, we knew it was going to happen, right? I think, let's be honest with ourselves. They weren't going to be excluded, Ben. Come on, man. They were never going to be. But why, though? We can't do that, though.
Because they've been here 10 years. And
but that's but this is where you miss it, though.
Nothing.
But that's not the point. We can't register anyone else.
Hang on. Sorry, you're both literally talking. I can't understand either of your points at the moment.
Here you go.
You can't have your former captain at the football club. The man, when we lost to Newcastle United, threw the entire fan base and the entire team under the bus. You cannot have him there, especially with the new captain who has galvanised this entire team under Son Heung-min's leadership at the football club. You cannot have the former captain speaking in the ear of the chairman. Oh, put me in the squad. Put me in the squad. Okay. And you can't have the other vice captain in there as well, doing this as well. They need to be so far out of the football club. Send them to the David Lloyd in Chigwell. Send them all there. Yeah. And just send them as far away from the football club as physically possible. They are snakes. They're snakes in the
grass. Ben. Okay, on this point. Okay.
They've thrown us in the bin once. They will do it again.
We found some controversy.
I love it. But Ben, hear me out. And I'm going to throw this back at you for a second. I'll use Hugo Lloris as a good example. I don't I agree with actually what you're saying. They should have gone. But that wasn't a problem on the club. The club tried to get rid of these players. The club had offers from clubs across the world, and we couldn't get rid of these 2 players.
Awesome.
They went, we'll stay here. Make a decision.
Rip the
But
contract.
the problem is we couldn't do that because we
Why
didn't
not?
then have enough people to advocate for registration purposes. Otherwise, we would have then shortened our registration bits, right? We would have ended up registering 25 players. Hear me out. The same people that would have had to go, this is a massive, massive hypothetical. Vicario gets injured in training and Fraser Forster gets injured. The same people would have then moaned and gone, why didn't we register Hugo Lloris when he sat in our training facility?
I'd rather have Alfie Dorrington, someone that wants to work for the football club.
I'm on about the goalkeeper, right? The goalkeeper.
That's got a point to prove, that's proven it in the youth team, than someone that's been here for 10 years and shown absolutely nothing.
But I'm not sitting there advocating about Hugo Lloris and Eric Dyer. I want them gone as much as you do, but I think we missed the point here. Like we're not going to not register 2 players as some sort of vendetta because one, the players' agents will go there and say, well, hang on a minute, you've now breached his contract, so he has every right. You have to pay his contract out so he can leave on a free.
Pay his contract
out. But my point is the club aren't going to do that because it hits the balance sheet, and then we won't. The same people that then would have said about ripping their contracts up would have then gone and complained if we'd done it, and then gone, we need to sign players. We need to sign players in January, and then we'd have gone, well, we can't because we've just gone and paid 7-8 million quid to buy these 2 out. So it's like
7-8 million quid is nothing to Tottenham Hotspur.
No, but it doesn't.
Sorry, can I just ask a question? Just so I can understand the debate we're having. Ben, are you saying that both Lloris and Dyer shouldn't have been given a squad number?
Yep. Send them as far out the door as possible. Rip their contracts up. They are a disgrace.
Okay, and Perchy. Okay, hang on.
The squad.
Okay, cool. And Perchy, you're saying it made sense for them to get squad numbers because it's not like they're taking the squad number away from anyone. There's no one else that could have gone in that position. Is that where you're both at?
Well, that's my position with it. Is that it's not like here's my point is if there was an academy player that's over 20 to 21 that then is being left out, then I go, okay, got a massive point there. But they're not, are they? There's no one to register, right?
What I'm saying, Perch, is for squad morale, you cannot have 2 players that are snakes.
But they would have. But Ben, they're still here. Whether we register them or we don't register them, they're still at the football club.
Can I ask a question? Why are they, for the risk of this carrying on, why are they both snakes? Like, what's Hugo Lloris done other than form going as he's got older?
He walked out the football club and pretended he got injured last year when we got absolutely.
But do we know that for sure? Is this speculation? Do we know that he did this for sure? Like, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
It just makes sense, though, doesn't it? You got Eric Dyer having a chat with the chairman instead of talking to his manager. It's not acceptable.
Can I ask you a question? I just want to ask a question. Listen, I think everyone on this panel knows I don't want Eric Dyer anywhere near this football club. Right? Hopefully you all know that. Yeah. I don't ever want to see Eric Dyer in a Spurs shirt again. I was disappointed yesterday, if I'm brutally honest. Out of everything yesterday, the only thing that was disappointed me was that Eric Dyer was on the bench instead of Phillips or Dorrington. If I'm completely honest.
Phillips was injured, right?
So it's come out since that he was injured, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but for me, I think a lot is being blown out of proportion with this chat with the chairman. First of all, we don't know what the chat with the chat with the chairman could have been about. Hey, listen, I want to go on a free next summer, and the chairman might have said, "Listen, I need to sell you in January." But for all we know, it could have been a chat about that. For all we know as well, just because he's had a chat with the chairman, Ben, doesn't mean he's not had a chat with Postecoglou on a daily basis. We don't know that. So
it's happened before.
Yeah, but but not that we know of. Like, just because hang on. Just because we've hang on. Just because it's reported that Eric Dyer's had a meeting with the chairman doesn't mean anything about him not having conversations with the manager, for all we know, they're two very different conversations. The conversations he's having with the chairman are going to be about, hey, I've got 1 year left. I want to leave for a free. The chairman's saying, I can't do that, or I'm going to do that in January, or blah, 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 blah. Conversations he's going to be having with the manager are going to be nothing about his contract. They're going to be, hey, why aren't I involved in your squad? What do I have to do to play? Can I still play? So I do feel that we're taking reports and just running with them verbatim, that we know exactly what's happening. But in the same breath, Ben, I do stick up for your point that I don't ever want to see Eric Dyer in a Spurs shirt again. Ever. Like, I'm done.
But I agree with that, by the way. I agree with that. I'm not sitting there suggesting that we should be playing Eric Dyer. My point being is when we sit about and go, well, we can't have them around the squad, whether they're registered or not registered, they're still going to be around the squad. They've still got to turn up for training, contractually obliged to do so. The point being is it makes no sense not registering them. It would be stupid, whether we want them or not. That's not the conversation, because I think we all don't want them at the club. The conversation is, if we'd signed two players and then didn't register, I mean, that would be crazy. But do you know what I mean? If we'd have signed, here's the point: if we'd have signed Conor Gallagher and Lloyd Kelly on deadline day, hypotheticals, then Lloris and Dyer don't get registered, right? Does that make sense? We signed two on deadline day, then they don't get registered. They only got registered because we didn't get those two players over the line.
Wow, I didn't know we were going to go down this route. In regards to Dyer and
Perchy, you just not picked two players that you just picked in, both homegrown, so they've still got picked anyway because they would have been a part of 17. So
no.
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean.
Homegrown is minimum of 8.
Yeah,
so you can have more. Obviously, you could have a 25-man squad of homegrown players.
Yeah, you could have picked two foreign players though to make the point.
No. It was just because we were linked with Kelly and Gallagher on the final day. I could have been anyone, right, of course.
Well, listen, we are going to go for another 6 minutes, and then I am sending everybody over to Jacob's channel if you would like to watch that. Just quickly, I want to address something good first, which is Susie. Big up, Susie. For becoming a channel member. Thank you so much. Means a lot. And have a word with Jack. He's all a bit shouty tonight, Susie. Just see if he's okay. Is he all right? Is he all right?
You should dress him today.
Also, guys, go and check out. Susie's made her debut on YouTube, by the way. It's now gone live, so go and check it out on my channel. By the way, she's done a little segment, so go and check it out.
Chuck the link into the chat, Perchy. Yeah. So big up to you, Susie, and yeah, top person is Susie. By the way, again, this is what we need to do, right? This is what we need to say. Sorry. Listen, all YouTubers, we're here to talk about players. It's opinions. Every time you hear something you don't like, please don't say it's an agenda. For me to say I didn't think Kulu was that great yesterday is not an agenda. Yes, he scored. Brilliant. Has was on the channel with me when we went nuts because he scored. To say he's not been great, why is that an agenda? I've never understood this. Go on, Kate, you want to say something? I've never understood this.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be the opposite of Perchy, and I'm actually going to disagree with you, Saba, because I gave Kulu man of the match yesterday.
How? Other than the goal, how?
What game?
He had the 34 passes in the final third.
Okay, but other than what you saw with your eyes, rather than a stats spreadsheet,
because he was the most prolific, the quickest, the most dynamic of our attacking three on the day, and I thought he deserved to be man of the match.
The most.
Could I ask a quick question? If the game ended on the 90th minute, would you have said Kulu played well and it was 1-0?
Who, me?
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, yeah. Because I don't think anyone had a standout performance for Tottenham yesterday. My man of the match was actually the Sheffield United keeper, but I picked a man of the match for Spurs and I gave it to Kulu. Because for me, I thought he looked the best. I don't think anyone was particularly amazing. But, yeah. But he didn't finish on 90 minutes. The extra 10 minutes.
Can I ask? I get this all the time. So, when people are justifying if a player's played well or not, it's always, he had 30 passes into this and 2. What I saw, and Has, I'm going to bring you into this. I want to see what we watched yesterday. I think a lot of the game we were saying it's just very predictable with Kulu. He had so much of the football. So many chances when he had space to run into, and you're thinking, pick out a pass, and he never did. Cross it and beat the first man, and he never did. And then all of a sudden, you get to the end of the game, he scored a goal, and people go, he was my man of the match. Now, yeah, I can, if we're going to go by the theory of goals win matches, and that's man of the match, cool. But there is not a chance in hell that Kulusevski was the best player in a Spurs shirt yesterday for me. By any stretch of the imagination. Any stretch.
When the subs were made, both of us questioned why he wasn't taken off along with Connie and Solomon. Secondly, the passes in opposition half, Kate, I can tell you exactly how those passes came about. Took it to the byline, brought it back to his left foot and passed it back to
Pass it backwards every time.
50 times. Those would have counted towards those passes in opposition half. For me, he was on the ball quite a lot. I agree with you on that. He was on the ball quite a lot. Him and Porro exchanging the ball with each other.
I thought Porro played.
There was hardly any productivity from him apart from the final 12 minutes when he popped up, Richie cut the ball square to him and he scored the goal. Apart from that, I just didn't think that he did enough for me in the game to change anything.
He nearly scored earlier.
Yeah,
he did nearly score earlier in the game. I know he didn't score, but I mean, I can only go by what I see. And that was just, I've been ultra critical of Kulu this year, but I thought he was the best player for us on the day. I've been so controversial today.
I just feel that we're confusing.
Sorry,
I just want to say, sorry, go on, mate, go.
No, I was just going to say, for me, I thought Bissouma did well yesterday.
Yeah, because he scored.
Bissouma, popped up. He was very calm on the ball. Again, his passing, he was looking to nick balls into the box. I thought his end product was a bit better than anyone else on the pictures today, even better than Maddison, if I'm being honest with you. But it's just for me, Kate, I just didn't think the amount of times he was on the ball. If you look at any other top club in the Premier League, okay, you get that ball to the likes of Bernardo Silva, Saka. If they were on the ball the same amount of time Kula was on the ball, I think you'd be seeing a very different result in terms of productivity.
I agree with that.
You look at what Salah did yesterday against Wolves. 2 times he got on the ball and he's created something.
Yeah,
that was the difference.
Look, but by the way, I don't think. I don't think it was terrible. I just think, I know everyone's saying I'm turning this into a negative. I haven't. We're a Tottenham Hotspur channel talking about our players from yesterday. So first of all, everyone calm down. For me, not in the chat. Sorry, by the way, in the chat, in the comments. For me, I just watched him and thought, how many times during the watch along has you, everyone in the chat was just saying, oh, he's done the same thing again. He's done the same thing again, the same thing again. And lots of people were saying they were surprised he was kept on. Now, that doesn't mean he didn't have a good ending to the game. Yeah. But I don't think he did anything in the game that made me go, oh, he's had a really good game. Because for me, I think that fullbacks have found him out. I've said this for a long time. I think fullbacks have found out this guy. They know he's going to get the ball on the right, and then he's just going to cut in, pass the ball. Then we look at stats and go, well, 45 completed pass out, 46 in the final third. Sure. But as Has said, nearly every one of those is a 5-yard pass inside. Every time he had to cut in and cross a ball, beat a man. How many times we saw it yesterday in the watch along where he got to the byline and he just dribbled for far too long, and you're thinking, pass it. Yeah. And he holds on to it and he holds on to it and he holds on to it. And it's like, come on, man, pull it back to somebody, cross and find your man. The goal was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's what he needs to do more for me. Get in the box. That's where he's been best this season. 2 times he's got in the box, 2 times he's been clinical. But for me as a winger, I haven't seen anything from him as a winger that makes me go, yeah, you're a top winger at the moment. I'm not saying he can't be that, but I just haven't been blown away by him. I've not been.
For me, if he was having such a great game on that right-hand side, why did Ange change him and put him in the middle if he was having such an effective time on that
right? There you go, Marlon. Right. So if our manager changes it, if the manager moves him from one position, puts him in another, you wouldn't have done that if he was having such a great game. You're right. But I just think, listen, I get it, right? I'm not, look, just listen. Because come on, Sav, you dig out all the time. Nearly every winger is predictable. Cool. But I'm talking about Kulusevski, and not every winger is predictable. What a really stupid thing to say. I just feel like I get to this stage where honestly, I get so frustrated as a YouTuber lately that if you don't think every player is amazing, it is, oh, you're blind. You've got an agenda. And it's so boring. Why would I? So I'm going to rant. Why would I have an agenda against a Spurs footballer? Why? First and foremost, why would I want any player at Tottenham Hotspur to fail?
But this is the great thing, right? Everyone has a different opinion on it, and that's great. If we would have the same opinion, it would be boring. Like Kate, you said you watched Kulusevski, you thought it was great. That's fine, that's your opinion.
Sure.
What I saw, I just thought he wasn't, he didn't have enough productivity for me. Kept on doing the same things. It's interesting to see how people see things differently.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat at the moment. A lot of people are saying Kulusevski was fantastic, and then there's a lot of people saying, yeah, he wasn't all that. This, it's everyone watches the game in a different way.
Yeah,
Some people watch it. Some people watch players off the ball, see what they're like, what their movements like. Some people watch, players for how they pass the ball. It's all different. It's subjective, right? It's like art. It's subjective. At the end of the day, all we can do is respect everyone's opinions. And
sure.
Yeah,
of course. Listen, I'm not knocking Kate for opinion. I just debated it, right? I just didn't agree with it. Yeah. But it's the people in the chat like that guy that said the agenda. I want every player that pulls a Spurs shot to be brilliant. I want Richarlison to play and score 30 goals a season.
Yeah.
Me not seeing that isn't an agenda. It's me not seeing it, right? It's, and the fact is, people will say it's like Kulu having to live up to first season standards. Yeah. Cool. We've seen what he can do in the first season. We've not seen anywhere near that since. So why am I wrong in calling him out for being predictable?
Here's the thing, right? Next week, if Kulusevski has a fantastic game, right? Let's say, just argument's sake, 3 assists and a goal next week, right? And we're all saying, do you know what? Kulusevski, he was fantastic. He played fantastically well. Guarantee you someone in the chat will say, what a flip-flop. Last week, you were saying he was crap. And this week, you're saying he's good.
I'm going to say it. We are calling it.
We are calling it how we see it.
She says she likes Eric Dyer.
Do you know? I think the thing for me is, if he plays well next week, I'm the sort of person that turn around and go, God, he was brilliant today. That really shocked me. I don't go into games wanting him to play badly. Yesterday, we were willing him on, has to say, beat your man. Beat your man. No, beat your man. No, cut inside. Even when he did this a lot against Man United as well, when he was clear through, he had like 10, 15, 20 yards of grass to run into, and you're thinking, come on, man, we said it has how many times yesterday? You've got loads of grass. Pull it back. No.
If you watch yesterday's show,
it just frustrates me.
The most used words from me were Kulu down the right-hand side, takes it down to the byline, cuts back onto his left foot, and it's a pass back to Porro. I said those words about 30 times yesterday. Go back onto the stream, onto the watch along. If anyone didn't see it, you'll see. How many times did I say that yesterday? Back onto his left foot, pass back to Porro. Back onto his left foot, pass back to Porro.
Well, I think Kulu's world class.
My bad. Everyone's world class. Spurs are winning the league. Richarlison's the best striker we've ever signed. I take it all back. I tell you what, when Spurs win a game, we may as well not have a panel show, because we've just, do you know what we'll do? We'll assemble all 6 of us and we'll go, well, everyone, 2-1, Spurs are second. Great game. Thanks for turning up. See you all later. See you next week. It's madness.
Sam, you got to do that one week. You have to.
do you know the funny thing is about this, right? The funny thing about this is, like, Ben started the show by saying we didn't play that well yesterday, right? We weren't at our best yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. And had we not have got to the last 4 minutes and got 2 goals, all of a sudden everybody is picking that performance apart. But we get 2 moments in the last 4 minutes, and now all of a sudden everyone was brilliant. Everyone was great. Come on, let's call it for what it was. That was a lucky escape. Great goal, 2 great goals, 2 very good finishes. But I don't think anyone, for me yesterday, I would come out of that game saying, you were excellent.
Yeah.
None of them.
There's a couple of people that I think Spurs 89 said he did beat his man a few times, and Liston Hine said Kulu beat his man constantly. What are you watching? Yes, he beat his man a few times, but it's what he done after he beat his man.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've not got an issue with him. I know he can beat his man.
His end product's not amazing, is it?
What he does afterwards with the ball. So you've beaten your man. Now take it to the byline and get the ball in. But what he does, beats his man, takes it back onto his left foot.
Yeah, which allows the defender he's just beaten to get back into position, and he's got to beat him again.
And then he's gone back to square one again because he's passed it back. Well, you've beaten your man, get the ball in, cut it back.
I think just to sort of finish it all off with the Kulusevski one, because everyone knows that he's very one-footed. I said this, Sav, I said this to you a long time, right? I said this a long time with the whole thing was. I said this a long time is that he's very easy to defend against because you know what he's going to do. Even if he beats you, if he beats you out wide, do you know what? He's just going to pull it back. So just stop him on his stop.
If I'm a left back, if I'm a proper good left back, am I losing sleep playing against Kulusevski? That's what I'll ask you.
No, you show him outside. You show him outside because he doesn't know what to do with it.
Right. If I'm a proper good left back, I'm not losing sleep. This is the problem. If we had seen, bearing in mind, it was all of last year, and for me, listen, he's got a couple of goals and assists. I'm not knocking that. I just think his all-round game, if you take away that, his all-round game for me hasn't been that great, right? And I think the fact that we're having these debates, the fact that there's so many people on the fence about this guy, the fact that some people are underwhelmed, some people are defending him, tells you that there must be something not right. Because no one's sitting here doubting. I haven't seen anyone be debatable about Basuma's form. I haven't seen anyone doubting if James Maddison's class. I've not seen anyone saying that Van der Ven and Romero haven't started the season brilliantly or a doggy. So why in that case why is it happening with Kulusevski if he's as good as everyone's saying? Because for me, and other people have said it, the thing, he's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, agreed.
Like Has said, he does some good bits.
It's not digging him out. I can't believe what people put in the chat. All I'm reading in the chat is digging him out, digging him out. It's not digging him out. All we're doing is saying he could do it better than what he's doing now. The end product will be better if he did certain things a bit differently. It's not digging him out. It's not saying, "Oh, Kulu's a crap player. He shouldn't be playing for us."
Of course,
that's digging him out.
I just want to see more.
Yeah. All we're saying is, for the amount of times that he's on the ball in that space, there's certain things that he could do a bit better that would increase our chances of scoring goals.
We know he can use his foot. We know he can use his right foot.
His right foot.
He scored the goal with his right foot. So why doesn't he one day go past his fullback and whip a ball in with his right foot and create a chance that might lead to a goal?
If you say that,
perfectly summed up. Perfectly summed up.
Bang on, that.
Bang on with this comment.
Yeah.
This comment here. That's all I've said. For me, it's frustrating because when he gets the ball, I think to myself, go on, do something. And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, 9 times out of 10. Now, that's fine. If people think he's great, cool. I'm not telling anybody not to rate him.
Scored. That's why. It's because he scored. That's the only reason why people are
agreed. Has
digging him out.
Respond.
The guy just scored, and you're digging him out. No, we're saying we could do a lot more if he did things differently. But when you start
stats tell you that, Dunkel's talk.
When you start being analytical on players, people automatically assume, yeah, why are you digging the guy out for? He scored a goal. Like, no, I'm doing the exact same thing.
And no one said this either.
Doing on whatever channel or radio station, saying the same thing.
Just going on to that, just quickly going on to what Liston signs. But all of us are putting them in our starting 11 for Sunday, right?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
There you go. Enough said.
No one said it.
Exactly.
All I said.
Yeah. Enough said.
It's absolutely madness.
Do you know what I will say? Do you know what? And I think someone I don't know who it was in the chat, but someone made a point about it. I said, with Kulusevski, and use the goal as a great example. What did Kulusevski have for that goal? He didn't have time to think. It was instinctive.
Bang. Out of his feet,
Where-
bang.
When Kulusevski's out wide, it overthinks stuff. And I've said this a lot about Sonny when he was out on the left. When he suns down the middle, he's very instinctive. Boom, I'll get in, bang, goal. The goal was very, very similar. He was so instinctive on that. And that shows he's got ability, right? When no one here is judging this guy's ability, he's got it. But his decision making and he out on the right-hand side has to be questioned. We can't just sit there and pretend he was amazing when he wasn't. If he had scored that goal, we'd all be. Here's the question: if we didn't win that game yesterday, we'd all be sitting on going, what does Kulu offer us in the final third? If we didn't,
Let me ask everyone on the panel a question. Yeah, we're gonna finish in a couple of seconds. By the way, Ben, why are you asking? If you need to go,
just end like 20 minutes ago. We're still going.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, listen, if anyone needs to,
I'm just making sure you're not in trouble, Sava.
with who?
I don't know, someone.
I'm not going to be in trouble with anyone, mate. I'll do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'll ask this question: who had the better game yesterday, Solomon or Kulu, or neither? It doesn't have to be an either or it could be neither. Who had the better game?
Solomon.
Yeah,
Kulu.
Solomon. I preferred Solomon's performance personally.
But do you see what I mean? Straight away, I've asked that question. I've had different answers across a panel, right? All I think there was difference in their game yesterday was that one of them grabbed a goal and one of them didn't. That, if I'm brutally honest, I thought that in the first half especially, I thought Solomon was the danger. Solomon was the one that was dribbling past his players, getting to the edge, having shots. Kulu didn't. Then in the second half, I thought Solomon massively dropped off. I thought Kulu was better.
Yep.
But for me, I thought both of their performances were pretty similar. Both of them were pretty predictable, but in different ways. Solomon, you know he's going to just try and dribble and whatever, and you can crowd him out. Kulu, I think you know he's going to cut in on his left, and the defender's happy. The goal is the difference for me between their two performances. That's just my opinion.
That's why I gave him man of the match. Well, I wish I hadn't, and I might change it now to Basuma so that I don't get told off.
Okay,
Don't
stop.
flip-flop. Stand by your convictions of your opinion.
Hey, everyone in the comments agreed with you.
Yeah.
Well, there we go then. Yeah, you lot are in the mud. Kulu, yeah, come on, Kulu.
Has anyone seen the side argument that's been going on for nearly an hour now, by the way, about Richarlison versus Soldado? It's been going on for like nearly an hour.
Brilliant.
Like, honestly, these two are having a chat about Soldado and Richarlison. We are going to end in 5 minutes. But the reason I asked that question wasn't, I don't have an opinion either way. I thought both were pretty underwhelming, if I'm honest. By the way, I'll chuck Sonny in there, but for completely different reasons. I thought that game is not a game where Sonny thrives. A low block, 3 centre-halves, no room to run into. That isn't him. But the two creative wide players for me were both a bit underwhelming. I just thought they swapped halves. I thought Solomon was better first half. I thought Kulu was better second half. But neither of them did anything to me that really created anything. I don't remember either of them actually laying the ball on or a really good cross, or I don't know. Maybe I'm watching a different games, people.
No, we said all three of the front, well, all three up top should have come off at some point in the second half. Yeah. Obviously, Kulu ended up staying, but we were saying, look, that front three needs to change. Bring on, a different front three for the second half or towards the end. But they weren't penetrative enough for me, especially Solomon and Deki. And according to Danny Kiriakou, Big Ange was match of the day. Was match of the day. Was it, Danny? I think you got that wrong. But yeah. I'd like to know what Danny thinks. Who do you think was your man of the match?
He gave it to Big Ange. He's already given it to Big Ange.
I really want to know who he thinks was man of the match or match of the day.
Match of the day.
I think Danny would have said his top nut was man of the match.
When you look at the chat, Has is absolutely right. Everybody sees things differently because so many people say different things. It's crazy, really, because we all watch the same game, but I suppose it's just how you see it.
Do you know the funny thing is, Kate, right? And this is, I wasn't going to have a debate. I'm not going to have a debate about this, by the way. But I think one of the crazy things, there were people yesterday saying, oh, do you know what? Sarr was a little bit quiet yesterday. Wasn't quite himself. I've seen people in the chat saying I thought Sarr was excellent yesterday. And listen, that's why we're all different. I'm not saying either way. That's why I think we're all very, very different people. But what I can't do is I can never just jump on a bandwagon because people want me to. It's not built into me. I can't do it. I don't enjoy doing it. I mean, Dunkel's dog saying, Savage, do you think there are signs of Kulu getting better, or do you think he's stuck? No, listen, I think when the 2 times I've seen Kulu scoring the goals this year is when he's been in the middle of the box. I've got no doubt he can nip into the box and grab a couple of goals. I'm just saying, from a wide man perspective, if I'm a fullback, I'm not worried that this guy is creating. That's my only thing. I'm not knocking the 2 goals. He's done really well to get them, but I'm just calling what I see. I've not been massively impressed. The same way I say to the Arsenal fans, I've not been massively impressed when I watch Saka, if I'm brutally honest. I keep hearing that this guy is generational. This guy should be winning Ballon d'Ors. I watch him. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by him as well.
Yeah.
This isn't an agenda against Kulu. I'm massively underwhelmed by many players that I watch play football that get the big hype. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. On that note, Jesus, I can't believe that. Next week.
Just breaking news. Apparently, Sheffield United goalkeeper Wes Fotheringham has just left the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he wasted that much time.
Oh, God.
And I didn't get it.
I can't believe you didn't get that one.
Oh, dearie me. Well, you could tell people really didn't like it tonight because we've had 9 people unsubscribe. Makes it all worthwhile. Yeah. Apparently, if you don't say I need Marlon to just talk the whole time. If Marlon talks the whole time, right?
And if you want to listen to Marlon talk the entire time, you can subscribe to a view from the Southside.
Exactly.
It's on YouTube.
I'll tell you what we do. There's 360 people left in here. What we're going to do, let's try and get some of that 9 back, shall we? Because that is...
Come on, guys.
6 people have given up 2 hours and 15 minutes of their Sunday night for you, away from their families, and 6 people want to go... 9 people want to go and unsubscribe. If you would, please... hang on. So I can't help but react to... Come on, Sava. You changed direction often. You said Sarr was nothing special. You don't rate Bentancur. You loved Kukurea. Wow. Like, first and foremost, this is why I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. I will break this down and then we will finish. First of all, you're a dickhead, Faz, and I'm going to call you out for this, right? I'm going to call him out for this because first and foremost, right? I haven't even said Sarr is special in this show, have I? I haven't said anything about Papa Sarr in this show. Have I, anyone?
No.
Right.
No one said anything about Sarr.
Now, the difference between me and you, Faz, is you were telling everybody, right, that Papa Sarr was a generational talent, all the while that Antonio Conte, Nuno, and Ryan Mason weren't giving the guy a minute of football. So forgive me for not thinking an 18, 19-year-old at the time is generational when I'm not getting to watch him play. Right? I don't know how I can make the judgment that he's special when he's not playing. Second of all, I have never, ever, listen, Faz, I will be rude because you're lying. I hate the lies, my friend, right? Second of all, I have never said I don't rate Bentancur. Has anyone ever heard me say that I don't rate Bentancur as a footballer? Like, it's the lies, Faz. It's the absolute lies that you are saying are facts. When you're a liar, I will call you out for it. Yeah? You said what about Sarr? A guy, hang on, Perchy. I don't need any backup, right? I don't, right? Oh, no. And we are going to end the show in 60 seconds. Faz, you said what about Sarr over a year ago? Right? This is a guy that has played so far 4 Premier League games this season, and we're talking about him being special and generational. At what point are we going to calm down a bit, let him have a full season, yeah? Let him do it consistently before we start saying he's this amazing footballer. Like, I just can't get it. I just can't. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't have lost my cool there. I just hate what people listen to. Like, and idiots like this don't listen. They don't listen.
But this is the thing. This is where I went to when I started it off at the start. Extremities. When we say just because Sava at this point doesn't think that, because you said it before about Bentacle saying that he's a good player.
Yeah, he's
everyone was saying at the time, everyone was saying he was world class. You said he's not world class. He's a good player.
He's not. He's not world class.
But this is my point. This is where people spin stuff, and I hate when I see it. People spin stuff. Yeah, but it's all about extremities, my friend. Just because you don't say somebody's world class, equally doesn't think you call them crap. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah. I just can't. Do you know what? I'm all cool with it. Listen, we're going to end in 30 seconds. All I want is I don't want idiots like this. I'm not being rude to my audience. I'm being rude to you, Faz, because you're coming on and lying. And you know the worst thing about this game? Someone like me puts my face to the camera with an opinion. Someone like you comes on and lies to over 400 people about what I've said. Now, those 400 people all take that. Sava said he doesn't rate Bentancur. Sava's never said that at all. I've never said that. I've never said Sarr can't be special, but I need to see it. I can't say, oh, he's played well in a few Premier League games, he's special. By that reckoning, Jared Bowen's the best player in the world. Make of that what you want. By that reckoning, what are we doing? Are we saying Jared Bowen's the best player in the world because he puts up consistent numbers in a bad team? Think about it. Think about it. Listen, Kate, big up. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate your time.
I don't think I'll ever be invited on ever again.
Yeah, you definitely will. Definitely will.
Thank you for having me on, Sava. It's always a pleasure to be in your company.
Always.
Yeah. Do you want me to plug my channel? Is that why you come to me?
Absolutely. That's what this moment is for.
Thank you very much. I am back every day, Monday to Friday, 1 till 2. I'm on Sava's Tuesday morning show at 10 o'clock. It's been changed. Me and Cooves are starting a show one day this week, like starting this week. And I've got some fantastic things lined up for my channel with some big guests coming on. So I'm up to 545 now. So I'm pushing on 600. So yeah, please sub if you haven't.
So if you haven't, please get over there and sub to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. Marlon, Has, both of you, one of you, whatever you want to do, plug your channel.
Go on, Has, you do it this week.
What we got this week? Are we streaming this week? Do we have a channel? I'm doing the Arsenal match reaction this weekend. So make sure you tune into that. I believe it's around 8 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. 8 o'clock. Southviews Coys. I'll have a few guests on the show. Marlon only hosts the show when we win, so make that what you will, right? Do we have a show on Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah, we got me and Ash on Tuesday doing the tactics. We'll do a breakdown.
Thursday nights at 7:30, you boys. You know,
no,
Spurs show.
Yeah, we know. Tuesday you got me and Ash doing the tactics from Sheffield United, so we'll break down a lot of what happened in the game. And then I think you've got a rival show Wednesday as well, Has, coming up this week.
Myself and Ash Matic, we've got a rival show on Wednesday. It's a mixed bag because Ash sorts out the guests for that one. So we could have fans from any club. We don't know yet. So if you tune in, you'll find out. But yeah, it's a great show with Ash, man. Please do come over and subscribe to us as well.
Faz, this is your chance. You're being blocked now, mate. You're being blocked because you are just lying all over the place. Big up, Ben. Plug your channel, my man. Go for it.
Plug the 2 channels. So yeah, subscribe to us over at the Coffee Company. We have a brand new coffee that's just come in last week, so come and drink it. It's really, really good. We're hopefully going to get on the way to 600, but knowing my luck with subscribers, we probably won't get there for another 4 years. So hopefully we'll get there soon. And you can also obviously subscribe to Tottenham on Tour, which we hit the milestone of 7,000 subscribers. So you can find us on there with myself, Mr. Daigle, Mr. Shouts Kiriakou, Mr. Ireland, Mr. Amir, and Mr. Johnny, and all the guys that are over on Tottenham on Tour, the world famous home of Levy Out. And yeah, we're going to push on to 10,000 hopefully for the rest of the year. Tottenham on Tour's going from strength to strength, and we're just going to shout what we think is right and what's wrong with the football club. But if you want more of me, go over to the Coffee Company. It really helps us out a lot. Come for a coffee.
Big up. And Perchy, last but not least.
Perchy TV, back every week, 12 o'clock, every single day in the day. Do the morning streams on the weekend, so 9 to 11 on the weekend. Tomorrow, I'm live with TJ doing our weekly show with an Arsenal fan from across the pond. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of content this week, obviously with North London Derby. So there's a few other Arsenal fans have got in touch, so we'll be doing a lot of stuff. Maybe with like Delu Laguna as well. So yeah, there's loads and loads of stuff going on.
Big up. And just to note, there'll be no 10 a.m. morning show tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday. The morning shows will be cutting down now to just Tuesdays and Thursdays. And all of my shows will be stripped back massively moving forward. We'll still have a couple in the mornings, a couple of videos throughout the week, and obviously the Spurs review and live watch-alongs. Other than that, there won't be the number of shows we've been doing recently. So thank you for everyone for your support. And I'll be back Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday night, I believe me, Has, and Perchy are doing a live watch-along for PSG versus Borussia Dortmund, which should be good fun. And then Bayern Munich, Man United the night after. Big up to everyone. Go on, Ben. You're desperate to do it. Go on, son.
And as always, Levy out.